Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War stream. So today, we ended up getting ourselves, of course, the Invasion event. Invasion event is for Elementals, so should be a pretty straightforward event. Since it does allow us to use Mirage Queen, it does allow us to use Truffle, it does allow us to use Beatrix, and all of the good Elemental mythics. And even if you can't use all that, you can literally just use the, with pretty much any invasion, you can just end up using the invasion troop that has already existed, so quite a few people might already have it maxed. But even if you don't, you get one pretty early, and you can pretty much just use this to wipe out everything, because it has score reduction into a high damage output. So you can simply just poke them all with that, and boom, be good to go. Also, I forgot, it's actually quite a bit cheaper to get this weapon. This weapon is insanely good. Obviously, we haven't messed around with it yet. We haven't even unlocked it yet. However, I highly advise getting at least tier 3 this event. It costs 250 gems, and this weapon is insanely good. It's basically Jar of Eyes, but for Elemental. And it's a little bit different as far as what it does. Explodes, it's a blue-purple weapon that explodes a bunch of green gems. I do pretty much every single one on the board, obviously, with that many on amount. And then it gets grants a random status effect to all elemental allies, and it ends up summoning an elemental. So kind of like Jar of Eyes, the main difference being, well, two main differences. One is that it's exploding a different kind of color combination, whereas Jar of Eyes explodes a different color but has a storm into its self. This one has a, this one ends up doing it on green, which is a different color, or it is the same color as the storm that it ends up creating. So it ends up creating a green, well, let me go show it once we go get the thing, because we saw the perks on the other thing, but didn't actually go unlock it, but let me go show you what I mean. But if we go and get up to this weapon, which definitely make sure to get before the end of this week, you have today, tomorrow, and Sunday to go get this thing. But it should be one of the best 10 weapons in the game. Oh yeah, it's all the way up here because it starts with A. How convenient too, and it's even all the way up here on the first screen. Even more of a reason if you ever need just like a mountain crusher like weapon, you can just put it right in. But anyways, so this thing creates a storm into the color that it explodes. It's probably one of the biggest difference between it and Jar of Eyes. Jar of Eyes creates a storm into its own color. So Jar of Eyes is a green-blue weapon that creates a blue storm and explodes brown. So the storm itself is going into the color that it needs in order to get its mana back. However, the storm that this ends up creating is correlated to the color that it actually is exploding. So this thing explodes greens, and it creates a green storm, which will populate the board more with green. So it's kind of like the opposite of what Jar of Eyes does in that regard. And of course, Mountain Crusher does both. It has both a storm into itself while also doing the mana. So because they're both the same thing, because they're both brown. But this one ends up doing it more so focused on the gems itself rather than the mana accumulation. So this one might have a little bit more of a problem of getting full mana compared to Jar of Eyes. But with how much explosion it does, and the fact that there's going to be a bunch of greens on the board to explode, will probably make it so it still gains pretty good overall mana. But yeah, really curious to see how this pans out. Also has one other pretty noteworthy thing. It gets to entangle the first enemy every cast. So you get an extremely good explosion while also having pretty good protection, since you don't really need to worry about skulls. And it also has Elemental Summon. And of course, Elemental Summon does allow you to summon any elemental in the game. That includes the really bad ones, but also includes some very good ones like Sunbird, Rowan, every single mythic elemental that is good, Mirage Queen, stuff like that. So there's a really wide range. Actually, here's the full range of what elementals are, of course. But let's just show a few. Where's the elemental type? Also, this is basically what our restriction is, or is our restriction for the event as well. So go figure. But yeah, there's some bad ones like a Gave and stuff, but there's decent ones like All Other Father, Amarak. A lot of mythics lately have been getting elemental type. Aquaticus, Box Strider isn't even useful. It's actually useful occasionally. Coral Goblin wouldn't be horrible. I mean Golem. I mean, KrissTigger. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. KrissTigger even counts as one. That's basically Apothecary, but a tank, and it counts as elemental. But there's some really bad ones, like Drizzy is one of the worst troops in the entire game. But all 6 of the trolls are elemental. Got some things like Dust Devil, though won't come in with full mana. Firebomb too, but again, not full mana. But yeah, there's a pretty interesting selection as far as what it can be. And, of course, truffles and stuff like that also available. Quite a few things I can loop too, like Yarrow as well in there. Even a Phoenicia. Gosh, there's such a wide range. Obviously, Rowan. A lot of mythics. They've been adding a lot of elemental mythics. It's one of the reasons why the typing has been so good. The other Queen Mab's even elemental. So you can randomly pull that and get some freezes. Obviously, it's going to be really inconsistent which one you actually get out of all this. Oh, also the 6... that's not really unfortunate. The 6 imps are actually elemental too. I forgot about that. Most of them aren't that good these days. They used to be quite a bit better. Oh yeah, Wild Queen too. Gosh. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the weapon goes. I guess that's going to be one of the slightly bad things about it. While elementals might be good, the range of what it can summon is so absurdly large. And it could either be something really good or really bad. Based on how many good elementals are, they probably have like a 30-40% chance you actually get something pretty viable. But of course, that's not fully consistent. Oh, there's our 15 gems. They're also trying to sell me some green deeds for $5. No, thank you. Even if that was purple, I wouldn't go for it. Man, anyways, let's start getting into the invasion event, and then we're going to be messing with the weapon for the rest of the time, seeing what we can end up doing with that new thing I just went over. Anyways, so invasions. We are probably just going to go pure magic and run truffle, at least for the earlier battles. For the later battles, we might switch it up, but for these earlier battles, we'll probably just run like Rowan quick kill or something, and then switch it over to like a truffle. And I think that can run the entire event. Like, it should be pretty straightforward. We also don't have too many battles that we really need to do for the most part. Mostly because of the way that the weekend event works, since it goes for 3 days. Because we can end up using the battles from the other days to pretty much get it done. It's not like a bounty event where you need to do like all of it. Technically even bounty, you don't technically have to do all at once. But, you know, bounty is one that you tend to concentrate a lot more at the beginning. And then you don't necessarily need to do the rest. Whereas this can get carried by your guild as well from everyone participating. So you don't necessarily need to put as much in compared to when you do like a solo event like Bounty Hunter. Anyways, where do we want to go? Let's go, let's see what form of Rowan we can build. So we should have most of the components we need. We can go Rowan. We can go Mirage Queen, if I can spell Mirage Queen right. We can go, we don't have access to something like Leprechaun. Leprechaun is Fey. So what we're going to have to do instead is probably go Firebomb. Old meta. Because we're restricted to Elemental. And, what is the other thing we need? And then we need, we could use Hero with anything. Just for fun, we could run the weapon. But, it blocks Rowan, so you can't necessarily use it in that situation. Because the blue-purple would make it so it does end up, blocking there, unfortunately. But, let's see if we clear that. What do we have? We have, I'm trying to think what kind of weapon we might want to want for this. I'm just kind of leaning towards a Doom weapon at this point. Could go Mana Accumulation, but overall I think it could work out. Let's see. I'll probably go... Yeah, we'll probably just go Doomed Glaive or something. I mean, not Doomed Glaive, I mean, Doomed Club. Oh wait, why do I always feel the need to go for this one? Let me actually go with Scythe. Because I keep forgetting, Scythe works out really well because you can actually use, what's his name with it? You can use, because there's no elemental hero class, so no point in trying to set an elemental hero class. But we can go Archmagus with this, and it ends up working out really, really well. Since you have that +3 purple there into something that will have a 9 mana cost initially. Which means you can pretty much just go to full mana. And then we'll go our normal -yellow banner. Oh wait, we don't have the Leprechaun bonus though to get the other +1 green. Oh well, it's fine. If there was more color to be more important, it's definitely the blue. So, because we could potentially deny out Mirage Queen. Or, you know, green with Mirage Queen. But anyways, we'll go with this then. At least for the earlier battles. Obviously, we will be changing this a little bit further down the line. But we're going to be running with Doom Scythe then, Rowan, Firebomb, and Mirage Queen. Pretty much quick kill Rowan in a bit of a weirder way. Yeah, Drowned Sailor could work. Any of the Empowers that have Convert can. This will have a little bit more consistency on mana, but it doesn't get as big of a burst. But given that we have Enchant, it should be fine. And of course, this isn't something like Factions, so we don't need to worry about killing a troop every single time. We get no penalty whatsoever for one of our troops dying. So we can kind of just let it die. Poor thing. Because we already got a Valraven. We're already at higher battles than what we started with. Always funny when that happens. More often than not, a Firebomb will bring this to full mana. Between, not to mention, you have 2 enchants too. So, even if it doesn't get it, as long as it gets like 2 mana, you get full mana. Because you'll start with 6, you get 2 on the very first turn, bringing you to 8. Right now, it'll be at 8. And then you get 2 the following turn, you'll be at 10. So all you really need to do is get that, oh yeah, plus you get the little explosion at start, so... Yeah, Firebomb only needs to get like 1 to 2 mana in order for you to actually get full mana in this game mode. So ends up working out pretty well. His extra turn chance is pretty low though, which is the bigger downside to that. But you're generally not going to lose within 1 turn, especially for the earlier quick kill battles. Anyways, hello everyone. Hello John. Hello September Blick. Hello Isabel. Hello Saint. Hello Jamie. Hello Interception. Hello Steve. Hello Gustavo. Hello Raziel, hello Paul, and hello everyone else. Yes, Gob Truffle is very useful. You wouldn't need him till the later battles, though. He's going to be a little bit too slow if you're doing it at the really low level range. Yes, you could use Truffle literally the entire time if you want to. He'll be a little bit more useful once we start reaching 4 towers. He will probably eventually fall off, though, compared to other options, but you can quite literally just run Truffle the entire time if you want. But yes, we will be trying Truffle. We will be messing with it. I'm not sure if we will get around to it today, though, because I believe everything for these initial battles will actually be within the lower kill range, so we don't necessarily need to worry too much, since even Doom Scythe is one-shotting them. But once we start needing like double casts or even more than that, it's definitely going to be time to start switching to the Truffles, and eventually you'll get to the point where they have such high durability that Truffle won't even cut it. And you'll need to go like the Invasion Troop with a little bit of Skull Spam behind it. So there's basically 3 teams you kind of shift between. Quick Kill Rowan, which is what you're using now. Then you shift into like a Truffle-like build or kind of whatever midway build you want to do. And then for the end, you kind of do the Invasion Troop into Skull Spam. Like if you're going for leaderboard or if you're just trying to carry your guild for a lot of points. But that's pretty much the progression of this event. There's a quick kill elemental with Rowan or something, then to like a Truffle build of sorts, and then to eventually to Skull Spam Invasion Troop. And that's pretty much this event in a nutshell, as far as how you would need to build for it. What are the troops that you just mentioned, John, as far as in that code? Let's see. Gosh, we're getting a lot of Valraven. We're only down 2 whole battles. We started at 13. We're at 11. Curious how long this will actually still be able to one-shot for. Also, I believe I'm using magic right now, not even armor. We would be getting slightly better overall damage by doing armor, if and only if we don't need to cast this weapon. If we do need to cast that weapon, actually it's kind of better staying as magic. So maybe we'll just stay as magic. Because eventually we'll need a double cast anyways. Or, you know, cast Scythe and then cast Rowan to clean. That's one of the reasons why we're using Scythe. Because we will reach a point where Rowan will obviously not kill, but Truffle won't be fully viable yet. Like kind of like right here. Where Rowan doesn't actually have enough to clean up. Whereas Truffle would take too long to kind of get going compared to it. Once Truffle gets going, it like auto wins. It just gets its loop and does its thing. But while it's really consistent, it has its slower times, which can be problematic. Can be very problematic at times. Alright, let's just throw the Scythe down. And it just wipes everything. Gosh, Doom Scythe. What are you doing? Doom Scythe is, I would say, one of the better ones as well. There's a few really specific things that it can do, like Archmage's synergy. And it has, I believe it's the only one of the 6 Doom weapons that have a skull-oriented storm to it, if I'm not mistaken. Of the 6 that Doom Skull convert with full AoE, it has a Bone Storm. None of the other ones have a Bone Storm or Doom Storm. Only Doom Scythe does. So it's a unique thing that one specifically has as far as the AoE Doom Skull weapons. Because the other ones do have storms, but none of them specifically have a skull-oriented storm. Which obviously is very beneficial with that, because it gets cascaded skulls. So you basically get to clear out the board with a bunch of explosions off of your Doom Skulls connecting. And then that clears out the board into your Doom Storm. So you basically just get a bunch of skulls stacking on top of each other. And then you win. Not always, though. Like right there, I don't think we got a single skull cascade. But, of course, it increases the chance, likelihood that that would happen. Well, so it looks like we're getting a level this stream. We're getting so close to 1,600. We've been getting a lot of Vault events this weekend, which has been boosting it up. Hello, Alfie. Welcome. Yeah, the new weapon's insanely good. We haven't tried it yet. We will be as soon as we finish out Invasions. We'll be messing around with it. Maybe doing some kind of experimental team builds. I might even cover a video on it this weekend. As far as the Invasion itself, probably not going to have a separate video for it. But I might cover the weapon this weekend. It's relevant enough that a whole video is almost justified for it. Just because it's quite possibly, it most likely is, a meta top 10 weapon. Like, it is a lot of potential. We'll mess around with it, see what we can do. If you guys have any suggestions once we reach that point, also feel free to mention them. But we'll probably spend at least like an hour just testing, see what we could do with this weapon. Thank you, Wildest. Welcome. And hello, Distance. Hello, Kendall. Welcome, welcome. Yes, you can run Truffle for the entirety of this event if you want. We'll be switching into Truffle most likely. However, as it currently stands, we're running like a quick kill Rowan. Which honestly is actually starting to get to the point where I don't think we should be running it anymore. We're already reaching that kind of threshold where it stops working. So apparently it stops working around stage 7 and stage 8. Because by the time we hit stage 8, I think they'll have high enough stats that we can't viably run it anymore. Which could be partially problematic. Let's see. Put a firebomb there then. Let's clear it out with that. There we go. Oh, how are you not dead? Oh yeah, the high score reduction. Well, here, have this. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I think we're going to need a switch now. So we'll probably switch into Truffle. Let's see. You ran Iron Bark or Skia Shield, Flame Troll, and Shegra. I could still end up working out pretty well, even without having Mirage Queen. Or yeah, Mirage Queen is absurdly good. Almost every team, if you have a Mirage Queen, should probably be running Mirage Queen for this event. Since you're stuck using elementals, it gives half mana start for them. You can still run it without it, though. It would still be fine. But we're probably switching to Truffle next, I think. So let's just get a standard Truffle team. I believe I'll just go the one I mentioned on Monday, actually. Of course, we do go over it every Monday. I normally don't go over the weekend one, but we already know what the restriction was. So I did. Normally, we don't go over it until today on stream. But, yeah, we did actually mention it on Monday. Because it's pretty straightforward, just run Truffle. It's a pretty common endgame team. Or not even endgame, it's decently accessible. It uses no mythic. And 2 of them are faction legends. And faction legends are easier to obtain than normal legends. But this specific one is Forest Troll double Truffle into Mirage Queen. A couple different ways you can run this, like running Hero and Last Slot and stuff instead. But given that we don't really need to deal with Submerge, we don't necessarily need Hero. One of the main reasons you actually run Hero is so you could run Dispel. So you can run like Warden with Dispel and Greenstorm, and also for Greenstorm. But I don't necessarily need it as much since we don't have to deal with any Submerge in this game mode. So we can just go Infinite Truffle, dead, and just rinse and repeat with that, and pretty much be good to go. It's going to run literally through the entirety of the event. It will eventually fall off in the sense that, similar to how the team we were just using starts to get slow, this one is also eventually going to get slow to the point that you have to switch to Skull Spam. But for a good majority of the battles, if you're just doing like the bare minimum, like tier 3, just to get the weapon and just to help your guild, this is pretty much going to carry you through that entirety of it, I'm pretty sure. But if you're going further, like leaderboard or like tier 6, tier 7, just to help carry your guild, you probably will have to switch to Skull Spam. But I'm pretty sure for tier 3, which most people will probably be doing, which you should definitely ideally do, because you get the weapon for 250 gems rather than having to craft it in Soulforge. So it's highly advised to go do. But if you just do tier 3, you should be able to go with Truffle pretty much the entire time if you want. But yeah, if you don't want to go and do this event, the invasion currently, I do advise getting this weapon by some means. If you want to craft it instead, you can get it by 2 ways. You can either spend 250 gems on invasions, which I would say is the more advised way of doing it. If you need gems, just open a bunch of treasure maps and just farm them for a little bit, and you'll probably get the gems. Plus, you still have all weekend to go get that many gems, 250. But anyways, the other way is, of course, to craft it in Soulforge. And if you do go down this route, it will cost you 200 diamonds, 400 of blue and purple, 10,000 souls, and 2 celestials. But I would just advise going and doing it through the invasions for 250 gems, as it gets to help your guild, and you get some other loot along the way. But anyways, let's keep continue. Oh, so did I ever claim the last reward from invasions? No, I have not. Actually, we haven't gotten all the way there. Actually, we'll probably need to play out those battles tonight then. We're still a bit short. Let's see. Invasions, fight. Yeah, let's get into it. Oh, so that reminds me, we're probably still a whole player down, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we ever got to the other replacement yet. We'll need to. Soon, TM. Eventually. Let's see. Get that done. We'll take that over. That should be match already. You can pretty much tell the second you've won with this team. It is a team that is very, very easy to tell when you pretty much just like auto won. Just because of how it loops and how consistent it gets once it does have that board set up. Is a new faction coming next week? Yes. 1 week from today, we are getting a new faction for Adana. Adana will be getting 4 more troops. The troops are pretty useless, unfortunately. However, yes, we are getting a new faction in exactly a week from today. Not today, but next weekend. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Overall, nothing really too interesting from it, though. I forget what the weapon was, but I know the troops were pretty lackluster. However, we are getting another dual storm. It'll be the second dual storm in the game. I believe it was red-yellow dual storm, which will be pretty useless. There's really only 2 storms I feel like will be insanely good. And that is, gosh, I can't remember them now, fail. It'll be, actually there's a couple. It kind of depends. But, green-brown storm and red-purple, I feel like will be the absolute most powerful storms in the game if we ever get those dual storms. There will probably be a lot of single-color storms that will still be used instead of them in many situations. But if the green, brown, and red, purple troops are not bad, like the ones that get those storms, they could potentially be very, very meta. Red, purple would be for like Yagway-oriented teams. And there's a lot of offensive options that exist underneath red, purple. And the brown, green would be end up using with Truffle, Beatrix, stuff like that. So it'd be very interesting to see how those would pan out. Currently, the 2 dual storms we have are pretty useless. I believe it was, what, a yellow-purple or a blue-purple? And the other one is going to be a red-yellow, which comes out next week, next Friday. We'll eventually get some good ones. Also, it doesn't help that most of the troops that these things are dual storms have been attached to have been pretty useless troops. Like, the troop has to actually be, like, half-decent. Kind of like how Divines were so good, because Divine Ishbala was this insanely good troop, even if you ignored the fact that it gave a bunch of mana to Divines. Just its ability itself was good. But the problem with a lot of the dual storm troops that they keep adding is every single one of them is kind of meh, to the point where they're not really even worth using. And then their effect is, you know, not that worth it compared to just like a single color storm. So there's like no point in really using them, which is my big concern with a lot of dual storms. Because the mechanics are already really gimmicky and barely ever going to be used. And on top of that, they're putting it on things that are also never going to really be used. So it's making it so this whole like dual storm thing that we got several patches ago is basically a non-existent mechanic. At least in the sense that even though it exists within the game, there's no real viable way to use it. But I don't know, we'll see in the future. And even if it was, single color storms are just so powerful. Especially ones that can like perpetually do it consistently, like Sun Spear and such, where it's already attached to something amazing and gets to do it perpetually. Alright, we just got infinite loop. We have 1. There we go. Yeah, blue-purple was the one. And yeah, it's from Lazarus Lair. We just had the faction for it recently, too. Wasn't it this Tuesday? I'm pretty sure it was. What's the team without faction ones? With Tower Crusher? You would use the Invasion Troop in first slot. Followed by, I don't know, there's a couple different ways you can go about it. I forget every single skull option you have. But Wild Queen, centering around Wild Queen would probably be pretty good. Assuming you had it. Like running Iron Bark. Iron Bark, Hero with Mana Accumulation, Wild Queen, and then Mirage Queen. Like something along the lines of that could work out really well. An alternative for not having Wild Queen could probably be Alderfather, and pretty much any elemental skull spam. I think Alderfather would be one of the better ones. And that's also a faction legend, so a little bit easier to obtain as well. But yeah, centering it around Wild Queen's probably your best bet. Iron Bark, Hero for Mana Accumulation, Wild Queen, and Mirage Queen. Mirage Queen's, if you own Mirage Queen, like every variant of every team should probably be running it. Because if you're restricted to Elemental, you might as well start them all with 50% mana. And it's already a good troop too, since it has the best curse in the entire game. As well as, well, actually, curse doesn't actually help you here, does it? I guess for earlier battles as you're progressing, it does. I forgot, never mind. Curse doesn't actually do anything to it, but that's still relevant that he's the best curse in the game. It's just not relevant for this. But he has that really good skull spam on it. Obviously, you need to get alignment on Green of Doom Skull, but if you do have alignment on it, it's really strong. And with something like Wild Queen, it's pretty easy to land alignment. Also, you're normally not able to use Wild Queen with Mirage Queen in many instances, because whenever you're color restricted, they have no color overlap. However, this event doesn't care about color overlap. This event simply says use elementals. So even though they're normally not able to be used with each other due to not having any similar colors, it doesn't matter for this event because the event is restricted based on elemental. But as you can see, this thing's starting to slow down. Obviously, it's still really consistent and still pretty quick. But as we get deeper and deeper and deeper, this will end up slowing down. And if we're just doing tier 3 battles, you know, buying tier 3 and doing the battles, should be fine. Like right here will be our final battle that we can actually do today for the invasions. But if you do go further, you are likely going to have to switch into skull spam. But yeah, if you're just doing tier 3 between the battles today, tomorrow, and possibly Sunday if your guild hasn't already gotten it done, should be good. But if every single person in your guild is tier 3, you'll get it done. Like if every single person, all 30 of them, do a tier 3, you would end up getting the entirety of this event completed. Like look, we're already on pretty much stage 7 already. And actually, we're at one of the highest, which is bare minimum. Anyone who's tied with me right now did bare minimum. So a couple of people in my guild got it done. And obviously, some people went beyond it already, which meant they went higher than tier 3. But this is a bare minimum that you'd want to do. And if every single person in your guild does this by the end of the weekend, as well as the other 2 days battles, you'll have the event done without a single person needing to go beyond the weapon. So pretty good. For 250 gems, everyone can get the weapon, and you'll get all the rewards from the invasions. So we might as well grab what we currently have. So we got a vault key, 25 gems, 3 event keys, 5 diamonds, some souls, some gold, some blue runics, major green, portraits, and orb of chaos. And we get a few other loots if we were to go and finish all the way, of course, which we will be. Hey, a purple, nice. Get some event keys there. We get some more event keys. We get a nice little stack of gems with some diamonds. We get another orb, we get another 2 orbs, and of course, as always, we get the final major orb with a title. And if you're collecting on the titles, that saves you, what, 25 gems, I believe that is? I've never bothered re-obtaining all those, though we're starting to get a gem surplus that I almost feel like getting them. I like getting them just for the completionist sake, but there's a bunch of things over here that we still don't have unlocked, which I kind of feel tempted to get. They're all portraits and titles. Are pretty cheap, but if you try to get like literally every single one of them, they can add up. Old titles are 20 gems each. Old portraits are 25 gems each, and old emoji packs are 50 gems each as far as re-obtaining them. I wonder what the full breakdown would cost on that. I should do the math on it real quick and then go and see if I actually want to do it. Let's see, 100, 200, 300, 400, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It adds up really quick. 14. About 14. I think I might have skipped over one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's just say 1,000. So 2,400. And titles. 1. Okay, this we're just gonna have to count out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 19. Let's just say 20, 2,400. So that should be under, what was that? 3,000. Oh gosh, I forgot what the other one was now. It was a 400. We had the 1,000 something. It should be 2,800, I believe it was. Should we go do it? We'll have enough gems. Let's just do it. Let's buy every old title. We'll do it. It's a little over 2,000. That's not too bad to get every last thing that we were missing from here. The reason why we're missing quite a few of these, there's multiple reasons. They're either like paid for in the past because they were selling them for like $5 in various things, or $10 sometimes in various things. And that's pretty much all of them. That's like pretty much all the ones that we'd be missing. Theoretically, you could also be missing like old event ones and stuff like that. The only bad thing about it is it changes your title or and your portrait and, you know, everything else, or title and portraits change to whatever you end up buying, if I'm not mistaken. So every single time we click on one of these, it's well, not only does it bring it all the way to the top, but it ends up changing our title to whatever we just obtained, as you can see. So that's a little bit weird. I guess it would kind of make sense that if you were like buying a title, you'd probably want to set it. However, for completion's sake, we're just getting them all. We're just getting them all for the sake of getting them all. Pretty much. It's a bit of a weird gem sink. Obviously, there's no point in actually getting all of these. However, for completion's sake, I do. You will technically never have all of them, though, because they're always going to charge some amount for money. Which means at no given time, unless you buy, like, literally every single one, at no given time would you ever have absolutely every title and portrait and everything. You could have all the ones that are unlockable currently without spending money. But as you can see right now, 2 of them are currently money locked, or were money locked. The 2 right now, or 3 of them actually, is Happy Hunter, Barking Mad, and Beach Babe. We're all from various things. That was probably some summer one. Barking Mad, not sure what that one was from. I'm not sure what either of those 2 were from. That was some summer pack. Let's see. We're almost there. The other one should be a lot more convenient to go through, though, compared to titles, because it makes you scroll, like, all the way down. All the way down. There we go. And the final one. And let's go back to the title that we always use. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I'll find it. They should really put these in alphabetical order or some kind of order. I think they're in order in which they were released, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. If it fits, I sits. There we go. We'll go with that title. And I always go with the little griffin for the portrait. But now that's going to change a billion times as we go and grab our... what is that? Oh, that's the Damien thing. But now our portraits are going to change a billion times as we go and unlock all these. And similar to the titles, it actually changes your thing every single time you click on one of these. Which is a little annoying. And it also scrolls all the way up. Which also is similarly annoying. Actually, it scrolls all the way to the one that you just unlocked, apparently. Interesting. Luckily, when we do emojis, we won't have to deal with that aspect. We just click on it, click on it, click on it, and be good to go. It'll burn through gems quicker than any of the other ones. Not only do they cost more, 50 each, but you can actually click on them quicker since it doesn't scroll every single time you click on one of these. I'm actually missing quite a few of these. What am I missing most of these from? Or have we just been getting that many? Because how does titles only have 2? Yet portraits have this many. Weird. Because, yeah, we're missing like a little over a dozen there. Oh, I know why. Titles are mostly obtained from completing out events. Like, for example, if you complete out this current invasion event, you will get a title. So for that, we normally do it. However, portraits and emojis are normally obtained when you throw a certain amount of gems at the packs. And more often than not, we do not reach this threshold to get them, which means if we want them, we have to buy them separately at a point in the future with gems. But that's the reason why. Okay, that would explain it. Because I was wondering for a moment why so many more of these are not unlocked. But it's because these are normally only available through spending a certain amount of tiers. Like, for example, for this current event, you'd have to spend up to, which is not worth doing, but for this event, you would have to spend up to tier 5 to go get the plant set, which is not really worth doing. Like, the portraits on tier 4 and the other things on tier 5, and we're only going to tier 3. So those two things we would not end up getting. So that's basically what that ends up doing. And the reason why we have so many titles is every single one of these events at the end gives you a title. As you can see, we get Barking Mad. Oh, that's the one that we didn't unlock from there. No wonder why I didn't recognize it. It's from the current event. That's kind of funny. But, yeah, you can end up just getting them that way. Oh, so that's what the other one is from, too. The other one's from Campaign. It's a title from a campaign, I believe. Didn't we get a title from this? Oh, no, we would have unlocked it by then, though. I forgot. Duh, we have the access to it. We have the campaign, so we wouldn't be missing that. I forgot. It's one paid thing we actually do. Though we're missing Rune Set, which technically exists right now. But obviously won't get it till next week. Not a big deal. There's no consequence on anything. But anyways, while we're at it, let's keep doing this. I wanted to do this eventually. And since we don't have as much to do today, might as well. Yeah, they also come in flash offers. The good majority of the ones I have as far as missing portraits are specifically from not going deep enough in packs, which is actually a good thing because overall ends up saving you gems. It's actually cheaper doing it this way in most situations. They really need like a buy all option. If they want a gem sync, just have a single buy all option with a warning like, hey, you're about to buy all these portraits or whatever. You got to do it manually one at a time. Though if you keep up with it, it's not that bad. If you're doing it like me where you don't do it for like an entire year. Because look, that's the 5-year anniversary one. We're almost at the 6-year anniversary of the game in like 2 or 3 months. And I'm just now buying the 5-year anniversary portrait. Which is kind of funny. Yeah, technically you should only get the ones that you like. There's no point at all in getting every single one. But for completionist purposes, I'm doing it. There's literally no point. But I want to fill the collection. So we shall. Obviously, it's just a complete waste of gems. You're getting no value from this whatsoever. Especially if you have no intention on ever using many of these. Which obviously we don't. But we're doing it anyways. At least the emojis are a little bit better in the sense that they could always theoretically be useful. But most titles and most portraits you would never even touch. Unless you're going to be changing a portrait like literally every day. Change your portrait and title every day to match your mood. Once we finish this, we'll go back to the Griffin. Alright, we're almost there. 3 more left. And then we can go buy all the emojis. And then we can mess around with the weapon. Hello, Zeddicus! Welcome! But yeah, that new Jar of Eyes weapon should be quite a bit of fun. Also, what on earth is that? It's like a bell? What is that? What is that portrait? Of. That's a weird one. Okay, now to figure out where on earth our Griffin is in all this mess. The hunt for the Griffin. If any of you see it, let me know because I'm probably going to pass it the first time. That snake's cute too. Where is the griffin? America. Let's see. Rowan. Griffin, where are you? I think I might have passed it. Yeah, it really needs a filter. Oh yeah, I definitely passed it. Now to figure out where Arnifix is. We shall find our portrait. In all this mess. I think it was on this right side. I was paying more attention to the left side. Oh, that doesn't mean it's not on the left side. Where is it? What is that? It's in there somewhere. So we got a cool dragon eye thing. It's almost guaranteed on the right side. I was missed a lot of them on the first time. Australia. Lizard thing. Okay. I feel like I would have passed it again. I had to have. Where is it? Oh no. I can't find my griffin. Did anyone see around where it was? We had to have passed it twice now. Let's go out and go back in. Oh, I think I just saw it as I was about to go there. Fail. Hold up. I think I just saw it. Oh, no, that was a goat. I like saw the bottom and it was like, oh, somewhat. Yeah, none of these have a name too, so I'm not sure how they would really organize them. Unless they did it by like what kind of thing they were. You know, like if they were epic troops or portraits of kingdoms or whatever they were. There's some pretty decent ones though. But I want my griffin back. It is really bugging me now. Where on earth is this griffin? And yeah, they really need some kind of like sorting method for this. Regardless of how they do it. Because it's just a random mess right now. If you're looking for something specifically. Like some of them could be really obvious, like if you were looking for a flag, because it just has such a high contrast compared to everything else. But due to the art style of the game, a lot of them can look very similar when you're just kind of like scrolling through a bunch. Let's see. It was on the right side? Oh, was it? Wait, let's see if I can find it. Okay, it is on the right side. Am I that blind right now? Alright, I still don't see it. Still don't see it. Still don't see it. Still don't see it. And it goes all the way back. I know, 1 hour later. The 1 hour of trying to find Griffin stream. Where's the Griffin? It's like, where's Waldo, but harder. Oh, there it is. Found it. Wow. That took way too long. Sorry about that. Anyways, let's go get the last of these emojis. And we'll be on our way. Let's see, how's our gem stack doing? That barely even dented our gems. We're not even going to get under 20,000. Which is the main thing I was looking for when I was calculating out the thing. I wanted to see if we would dip under 20,000. And we're not going to. From buying all these. Okay, anyways, let's go buy the rest of these. Mummy set. We'll need those for Halloween. Let's see. Oh, we got pumpkins too. That'll be good for Halloween as well. That probably even came out during Halloween. Snakes are still my favorite though, especially the eye. But this makes a really cool pattern when you like alternate them. Still one of my favorite emojis in the game. The spider, I mean the snake set. Yeah, this is like probably my favorite set overall. There's quite a few of these I've probably never even seen before, because I never bothered looking through them because we didn't own them. Oh, we got a flower set. Mermaid set. Too bad you can't see like the full colored graphics of them. It's kind of like grayed out. You'd think they would have them like fully displayed before you're about to unlock them. But one thing I always find weird about emoji packs is regardless of how many emojis are in the pack, they all cost 50. There could be one emoji in the pack and it'll cost 50. And there could be like 6 or 8 or whatever, and it would still cost 50. It's really weird. Has no logic to it. It's always cost 50. Oh, magic set. Wait, why didn't they do it for all 6 colors? That's weird. Why do they have a magic set with all the like Doom things, but they only have 4 of the colors? Why on earth would you not put yellow and brown? That makes no sense whatsoever. I never noticed that. Well, why on earth does the magic set not have yellow and brown? Makes no sense whatsoever. Ugh. Unless they're going to add magic set 2, which will have yellow, brown, maybe white to represent skull and something else. Okay, we're almost there. Still got several more. We're almost there. We've almost bought in every single useless cosmetic in the game. So very close. Or at least all the ones that aren't money locked. Many of them that are locked, we will be able to obtain. We just can't obtain them currently. The way that emojis, portraits, and all this works is they're exclusive for when they first come out. Through whatever they come out, like if they're through money or if they're through an event or whatever. Then about 3 months later, they are added so that you can get them through gems within, you know, just within the game. So even if they costed money at one point, you could just simply get them for gems 3 months later. Obviously, that's quite a bit less relevant for some and more relevant for others. Like, for example, like if we get like a Christmas pack, obviously having those 3 months later isn't really that useful since it wouldn't be useful till the following year. But that's why they try selling stuff like that, normally in the money ones. But all of them do have like a 3-month kind of delay thingy on it. Like those are Easter sets. And that would obviously be like more of an Easter theme. But some of these wouldn't matter if you got like 3 months later. Or technically all of them don't matter. Like these little orc things. Stuff like that. But I never spend money on any of these. We got every single one of these for free. Any ones we theoretically, I guess, spend money on are the ones in campaigns now. That would barely count that. Like, we get a rune set next week. Actually, people who have the pack already have it as well. It should be down here, actually. Let me see. Can we see what the rune set looks like? Yeah, there it is. There's the rune set. We get that next week. Or if you've already bought the Elite Pass Plus, you technically already have it now. Not like that's relevant compared to most of the rewards. So close yet so far. We burned through a surprisingly high amount of gems this week. What's kind of funny is I think we burned through more gems today than we will for invasions next week, which is kind of funny. We'll still have enough gems for invasions though. Yeah, and if we spend 2,500, I believe we'll still be over 20,000. Even though if we do 2,500 right now, we will dip under that. However, we are obviously getting gems between now and next Friday. As a whole week. That's 7 days of tributes and all of Monday reset gems. We're so close. We're almost there. So much scrolling. The final one. What's the final one we haven't gotten? The final set to complete our set is the imp sets. There we go. We are done. We now own every single cosmetic that you can possibly have for global chats that are not money locked. There we go. There they are. Every single one that isn't money locked. Or from some kind of like past event thingy, which will be available soon, and we'll get it later. Oh, so we got a event stage orb. I forgot, Invasion still gives that. You get 65 gems in an orb. Because it's still Invasions after all. There we go. There we go. Anyways. That was completely pointless. But there we go. We have now gotten every single cosmetic in the shop. Because why not? Also, hello, Saint. Hello, Earthbound. Well, if I said hi to. Hello, Integral. What team are you using for the Elemental event? We ran a couple different teams, but we ended up running Truffle ultimately for a good majority of it. It's the team that we showed on Monday. As far as Troll, Double King, Gob, Truffle into Mirage Queen. We were using a Rowan quick kill for the very early battles, and you can end up using a Skull Spam for the later battles, something along the lines of Iron Bark, Wild Queen, Hero with Mana Accumulation, and Mirage Queen as the combination of the team that you end up using. But yeah, we ran Truffle for pretty much the entire time. Main reason for Truffle is it has a nice infinite loop that it can end up doing. Because of course we have the brown-green creation. And one nice thing about Invasions is you don't have to worry about Submerge. So we can run through the entire thing without ever having to deal with the Submerge mechanic. It ends up panning out to be pretty good. But anyways, that's that. Okay, so next order of business. Let's go mess with this weapon. So, of course, the most interesting thing that happened today is not actually the invasions. It is this weapon right here. So this weapon is pretty insane. We haven't used it yet, but we already know it's insane. it's very obvious. But this thing gets to explode a bunch of green. It's basically a Mountain Crusher-like weapon. And then it grants a random stats effect to all elemental allies, then summons an elemental. This thing has a lot of potential. It's also probably going to be top 10 best weapon in the game. Will it be used for absolutely everything? Obviously not. It's still somewhat situational, similar to how like Essence of Evil is one of the best weapons in the game, but you wouldn't run it in many situations. It's kind of like one of those weapons. However, one thing it should be pretty good with is obviously with other elementals. So let's go build it up. Of course, there is currently no elemental hero class. However, there are hero classes that have elemental benefits. So for example, like Titan and Frost Mage, both have the trait that gives +1 magic to elementals when you cast a spell, which can end up synergizing very well with things like Truffle, which can benefit from such an effect. But anyways, let's go and kind of mess around with this. Maybe with like Truffle or something first, because, well, obviously Truffle. But Truffle's Truffle, so might as well throw it in. Also, this is going to be kind of funny, because we actually get to cover... this is actually pure blue. This is actually 100% pure blue. Let's see, Forest Troll. Well, let's go give this a shot. See how this works. I feel like double Truffle would be better than this, though. But obviously, this is pretty similar to just a standard Truffle team. Main difference being the switch outs of the weapon there. Okay, banner. Let's see. We should probably just go with that. Not sure if we would want to go something slightly different just because of the setup. Actually, what is under minus yellow? Anything good that would work under this? Blue-green. Would that kind of work out? Yeah, I guess that could work out. We don't necessarily need the extra little bit of brown. Getting a +1 purple for this weapon seems slightly tempting, though. If there is a +2 blue, +1 purple, that would work pretty good. Like the inverse of that banner with minus yellow. Actually, what is the minus for that banner? A +2 blue, +1 purple. It's minus red. That's worth doing. Like, we're barely going to cast Mirage Queen. Because that helps get the weapon up a little bit better. Which can end up working out pretty well. Also, you have to keep in mind, we're going to have Greenstorm. So we actually do have Greenstorm on this team. You know, I'm actually going to do it the other way around then. Actually, we could theoretically even put a little bit of green in there, but the main reason for the Greenstorm is mostly for the loop ability. and for the Mirage Queen cleanup. Not necessarily for the mana accumulation. Though we can still, of course, mana accumulate off it. I don't know. We'll go with it. So we gain a little bit extra benefit off it. Let's roll with this and see what happens. Alright, so this will be the first team we'll just mess around with. Kind of pretty standard truffle team. It's a little bit different. Kind of pretty standard thing to kind of test first. Well, we'll try quite a few experimental things to see what we can end up getting out of it. See what ends up working, see what doesn't. See what this weapon can actually do. So, it's just as a crusher effect. Okay, it does give the same effect to all of them, apparently, though. Because it looks like we just got a 4 times reflect. So instead of giving a unique one to each, it might just give the exact same one to every single one. Which isn't as good. Well, I don't know. It depends how you look at it. It depends if you actually get a good effect or not on if that's good or not. Also, we're partially frozen, and it's pretty much not going to make any difference whatsoever. Because we just have so much extra turn. Which is kind of funny because we actually have so much extra turn that frozen is kind of irrelevant. Which is kind of ironic given that frozen is supposed to stop extra turns. But you have like so many alternative ways of extra turning. Like Truffle has 3 different ways to extra turn. It's one of the reasons why you normally don't deny his extra turn. Because he has 3 ways to extra turn. He has land extra turn on green, land extra turn on brown, and land extra turn on his ability. So if he's frozen, he can still extra turn on brown. If one of your allies is frozen, let's say on brown, he can still extra turn on green and on his ability. And let's say both his colors are frozen. Like he's not frozen himself, but both green and brown is frozen. He will still get an extra turn because he still has an extra turn attached to him. So he has 3 whole different separate conditions that he can extra turn off of, which is tied at the highest in the game. The other highest is, oh gosh, I just got a gigantic burst. Anything would have died to that. But yeah, it ends up being pretty good. He has the tied at the highest amount of potential extra turns in the entire game, with the only other thing being Beatrix. And Beatrix is even more consistent because you can also extra turn off your color to still get it as well because of the whole cleanse. So theoretically, Beatrix actually has more. But yeah, Truffle has the 2nd highest amount of ways to extra turn in the entire game. The one that has the absolute most is actually Beatrix, which is one of the reasons why she's so meta. Her consistency is a lot lower, though. But she theoretically has more ways of extra turning. Theoretically. Even if it's not like a guarantee thing that ends up landing. Hey, that time we got Enrage. It's going to be one of the only annoying things with this weapon. While it will be very useful in many situations, the effect that you end up getting is going to be extremely random. Because, of course, you have absolutely no control whatsoever on what you actually end up getting out of it. So, it often could give you something that you don't really need. Like we got Enrage while entangled and everything. So, obviously that doesn't really do much. Also, hello, Lady Dragonheart. Welcome. Also, the summon mechanic on this weapon, which is one of the main mechanics that actually, you know, you'd bother using this for. In most teams, you're not really going to bother using it. As weird as that may seem. Like, you'd want to have a team set up where you're not using it in first slot so that you can end up utilizing a summon if you kind of need it as backup. However, you're more often than not going to be using the summon, even though it's a pretty decent summon. You're very, very rarely actually going to be utilizing it within your battles. Yeah, that's really nice. We get Greenstorm off of that, so we can kind of chain that into everything else. Since obviously Greenstorm is very beneficial on this team. As well as any team that needs a lot of green. And just go for a big double. And then we can end up getting Truffle down. Give yourself the full mana. We're going to deal with that Submerge. Yeah, that's the only bad thing. We're not currently using a Submerge or anti-Submerge team right now. So we have to deal with the full wrath of Submerge. One alternative to that is just try Doomskulling him. And hope we get alignment. Which we don't have the full mana for at the moment. I need red. It could be a problem with some of these teams. Actually filling up Mirage Queen. Because it'd be very useful to still have because of the Greenstorm synergy and everything. But a lot of these teams might actually struggle to give it mana. Alright, so he'll do a thing which will help break it Submerge. And now we can just destroy it then. since he doesn't have it anymore. And that's match. Alright, let's go try changing it up then. Alright, let's try a different team. So nice that the weapon we don't even have to go anywhere for. We just click under weapon and boom, it's right there. What's the troop at the highest mana cost? It's Damon Gnome. Second highest is Zugaf. Third highest is Warbreaker. The next one below, I believe, is Scorpius at 28. And I'm not sure what the one below that is. I think there's a weird one with 27. Is there? It might not be it. Yeah, it goes 50, 32, 30, 28. Let's see. Trying to think of a team that can end up using the Green Storm pretty well. Let's just double check everything under Elemental. I feel like there's a Mythic that might be able to. Hold up, does Sycorax use green? Hold up. Hold up. Sycorax uses green. And we can still build pure blue. What do we do for damage, though? Is there a good elemental blue-green? Obviously, there's truffle and stuff like that. Let's see. But yeah, Sycorax might actually be one of the better ones for it. I actually completely forgot Sycorax actually uses green. While still having the blue. Alright, let me see. Is there a blue-green elemental that isn't truffle or Beatrix that is good? Like as far as mythics are concerned? I don't believe there is, but with how many elementals there are, I wouldn't be surprised if one exists. Aquaticus, yes, kind of. That could still work though. It's more dependent on blue than it is on green. And if you're using it on a pure blue team, it doesn't work out that well. Can we order it based on rarity? With that, yeah, we can. Base rarity. Mr. Oh, you don't use green though. Wild Queen. Ha ha ha. We actually could get away with Wild Queen. We could actually do a Mirage Queen first thought. A location you don't normally put it, but it would still work. It's very rare to put Wild Queen. I mean Mirage Queen in first slot, but it works. It has 33% score reduction. Like it has everything it needs to be like a first slot troop technically. It's just normally not used as one. Oh wait, it's not pure blue though. Well, it doesn't have to be pure blue necessarily, but and I kind of want to aim for pure blue. Oh, I have it as either or. Oops, fail. I meant to say both, not either or. Yeah, there's only two. Sycorax and Aquaticus. But I don't know, we can make this work. Let's try a Wild Queen build with it. Build around Sycorax. What am I going for banner? Well, once again, we're missing yellow, so let's go and probably go +2 blue green again then. My biggest concern though is the lack of a little bit of purple there. But purple brown wouldn't really be as good. I can still kind of make it work. Like once we get that thing going, it should be fine. Once we get the whole team going. Which I might even want to put Sycorax in front of it, even though well no, it won't be blocked. Oh yes it will. It will be blocked on every color. However, once we get things rolling, it shouldn't really matter. And then we can keep doubling green. And then just go crazy off of that. I don't know, we'll give it a shot, see what happens. Class, we can actually technically just keep it as Frostmage if we want. So we'll go try to see what happens. Mess around with several teams. If you guys have any suggestions, feel free to leave it as well. I'll keep messing around with stuff. See what works. Oops, we're frozen, aren't we? Whoops. Honestly, I should just set my metals to cleanse. All three of them. With the kind of teams we're going to be using. It'd be very beneficial. We're frozen on green right now. However, we're not frozen on skull, so we still maintain our extra turn there. We'll try Wild Queen again and hopefully get skull again. And anyways, Mirage Queen is over. We didn't even need Sacroax. And then we do it again because why not? Dead. Wild Queen carry. Gosh, we didn't use the weapon, and that was just all Wild Queen being Wild Queen. That wasn't anything but Wild Queen. Good job. Gosh, Wild Queen is so insane sometimes. And not even sometimes, most of the time. Oh, unfortunately, there's no yellow on this team. Oh, come on. Purple, you're supposed to surge. That's the reason we have +1 purple. So we wouldn't have to 2-turn it like we are right now. Oh, I forgot to take yellow. Whoops. He stole my purple. Let's go double something. Problem is, every single thing to double right now doesn't seem that good. We could try doubling brown, I guess. Let's double brown again. Okay, now we could go Wild Queen and start doubling green if we get his mana back up. Up, never mind, it's already up. Obviously, if we have Wild Queen, his mana's already going to be up. I should probably go get Greenstorm. Oh, so why did I reduce that one? Let's go get Greenstorm. Which will help us out. And then we'll double the green again and then go Wild Queen crazy. And then destroy everything. And you just do it on green again. Should normally be full mana. We'll throw that down. Do it on green again, so we get Wild Queen. Throw it again. Boom. Dead. It looks like we got Enrage from that thing, so we actually got an Enrage poke at some point in there. Which is useful because that thing has some reduction. And that should be a match. We'll throw this down and it should hit his skull, hopefully. And he's dead. Easy as that. Easy as that. Not the quickest of teams, but it's pretty funny. Okay, just so I don't have to deal with it, I'm setting just a cleanse. Compared to having magic set, it's not going to make a difference anyways. Like, we might as well just set it to cleanse. Because magic's not going to help that team at all. Or very barely. This will just make it a lot less annoying. Since we're not really going to adjust our team for stats effects. So we're just going to set a bunch of cleanse so we don't have to deal with it, hopefully. Or at least not as much. Okay, what do we even want here? Oh, we can get a big chain going. Oh, that actually landed extra turn too. Alright, we'll get Greenstorm going just so we can get it going. That gives us also Bless on everything, which is pretty useful. At least initially. Then we'll get our Wild Queen going. And of course, one nice benefit of that weapon is we do get Entangle on first slot. So if we're doing this with Skull Spam, like we are right now, we don't necessarily need to worry about the backfire of it because, well, they're entangled. So unless they have some kind of instant kill thing, we, at least after that cast, we won't have to deal with their backfire. So ends up working out nicely. So like if we're in a sticky situation, like, oh, he's going to get too many skulls right now, we can simply just cast our thing and be good to go. And just deny it out. Also, I feel like doubling blue right now. That'll give us full mana, so we should give him his full mana back. I'm mostly just doing that to clear the board and hopefully get Wild Queen to full mana, which we actually do land. And just go for one of those. Unfortunately, lose our turn. But, oh, he took away my Storm because he has Perpetual Storm. Oh, let's do it on green and hope we get lucky. And I'm not sure if we can get full mana again. Yes, we can right there. Okay, we'll do it on to green, hopefully have full mana to go right back into it, and then Wild Queen dead. There should be a match off a single Mirage Queen at this point, and then we just wipe it out with that. That's not bad. It's a Skull Spam Crystal. I'm probably going to call it Crystal in most instances, because otherwise we have to call it an Arboreal. Arboreal. That's actually a real word as well. I googled it very, very quickly earlier. He's like, wait, Arboreal? I never heard of that. But, it's an actual word. It is a real word. But, yeah, Arboreal Crystal. Arboreal? Arboreal. I looked it up, but I never actually looked up the pronunciation. Go figure. Yeah, I believe it's Arboreal. What's pretty convenient about that, which also makes this weapon more overpowered, it's alphabetically A. So it's all the way at the top of the weapons. So if you just need like a quick explosion weapon that isn't horrible, You can just put Arboreal into your team. It's like, there we go, boom. Easy as that. Another reason why this weapon's so good. It's alphabetically meta. Because yeah, it's gonna show up like all the way at the beginning. Too bad it's not ABR, because then it would like always show up at the beginning. But as it currently stands, it shows up as one of the first 8 weapons. And probably will for quite some time. It's kind of funny. Obviously that's pretty irrelevant, but I still find that funny. Because underneath troops, none of the first 8 troops are actually useful in alphabetical order. But now we finally have like an actual meta weapon in alphabetical order. Like Arboreal, back when he was meta, was within the first 8. Actually, I believe he still is in the first 8, even with all the troops that have been added since then. But it's kind of funny that we have a meta weapon now in first 8. Because, especially something that's as diverse as this, because you can use it for quite a few different teams. It's going to be a weird situation, because we're actually somewhat losing. However, I think we can still pull this off. If nothing else, hey, we get to use the elemental mechanic. So, of course, there's another effect of this weapon, which we haven't used a single time until just now. And that is, it does summon a random elemental. And that means any elemental in the entire game. And we just got Drunken Sailor, which is a blue or yellow to blue convert, which actually is not horrible since it feeds into our Sacrax and everything. So that's not that bad of a pull that we just randomly got. Obviously, you can get some really bad elementals. However, there's a pretty good majority of useful ones. And if nothing else, there's a lot of utility ones, like the one that we just got. Also, we've done all of our skull damage so far through Entangle. Every single skull damage we have poked so far this entire battle has been through Entangle. Good job. Oh yeah, he's not frozen. Let's just give him so much value there. Fortunately. Luckily, the Sacrax doing his thing has kind of made us pretty tanky. We'll take purple for now. We'll try getting a... Can we get a bless or something? That'd be great. We're not frozen on anything, so I'm just going to take some green extra turn. And then explode all the things. And that kind of gets us rolling again, I believe. Mirage Queen would actually be worth casting right now. However, the board says we can't, so we cannot. So the Drunken Sailor, you do yellow to blue, right? Yeah, so let's actually go for that. Just to fill a little bit of mana in there. Fill some gaps in the board. We can actually go for a pretty big Mirage Queen right now. However, I'm not sure if I actually do want to go for that yet. I guess we'll go for it. How about now? Yeah, I think we do. Well, I kind of want to wait till we burst out the other one. Because we're going to be overkilling way too much right now if we do go for it right now. Almost tempted to do like a purple convert or something. Oh, no, I guess we'll go for Mirage Queen. Probably not worth it right there. Overall. We can go for another explosion and try getting our stats effects up on all of them. Something useful. What stats effect do we even get there? Submerge? Something useless. Something relatively useless. Unfortunately. But we do have Mirage Queen again. But he keeps getting summon after summon after summon, so it's not really helping much. We can go for green there again. This is probably not losing our Wild Queen. Wild Queen's a pretty big part of the damage source of this team. So we lost a good majority of it when it did end up going down. Because it's the main thing that we get to feed damage-wise once we feed into green. Though we could target blue, but there's not enough blue on the current board to really do that. We might actually die to this life and death right now. Drunken Sailor can't really do much, though I think I'm still going to cast it just to get blue. Because as I was just mentioning, we kind of need it on the board right now. Let's see. This is such a weird battle. Why you got to be like that, life and death? Why you got to be so unkillable after we... He kills my damage source immediately. And then, like, tries elongating the battle forever. Let's see. I kind of want to go for burst. Okay. Now we need a gigantic burst all on him. Let's do it on green and hope it doesn't miss. Good. Though the problem is we also need to get back to full mana. We'll try this and hope to get lucky. Unfortunately, that is not the case. If I do this, he's going to take all my mana. I think we just do it on green and just hope we get it. And we do. Oh, but Orange Queen doesn't have full mana yet. So we'll take that over. No! The summons. How good you. Logically, we should just run away from this battle the second Wild Queen died. But let's pretend this is Guild Wars. So it's not even a pure color team. Actually, is it a pure color team? No, it's not pure blue. Because we did Wild Queen. Hello, Matt. Welcome. What even is this battle? This would be over like ages ago if we still had Wild Queen. but he killed my damage source. Oh, he got Reflect. Now if he touches us, he takes some damage. When he casts Life and Death, he'll actually get hit with 2 different Reflects. Actually, he'll pretty much get hit with how much damage he does to us, since he'll be hit with double 50% Reflect. So we do have Mirage Queen right now. We don't have it for extra turn, so we're just going to cycle the board. And then ideally we have it, and we do. Okay, one more big burst, and we should be able to do it. I kind of want to do this on blue, hope it doesn't miss, and then we win. Of course it misses. Fail. Come on, we need one big Mirage Queen burst, and we win. Because even if he gets resummoned, his hero will be dead. Good, we have alignment. We won. Wow, that was way too annoying. But at least we got to show its summon mechanic. We got Sunken Sailor, which was somewhat useful. Not the best thing we could have gotten, but it was not the worst. Okay, let's try it again and not lose Wild Queen. That'd be great. Here we go. Here's some meta team. Divine Shbala Quillin meta. Let's not lose Wild Queen within like 5 seconds, please. Let's see. We should pretty much always take purple. It's the whole reason for having +1 purple. So we can 1 turn full mana on the jewel, on the gosh, I'll keep forgetting this thing's name. I need to remember it because it's going to be pretty useful in the future. The Arboreal crystal, the Arboreal. How did that miss that hard? We'll take that over. Maybe we need a green storm. We're not actually starting with green storm with the hero class that we're using. Of course, you can use whatever hero class you want. Yeah, once you get this loop going, it's pretty good. You just need to make sure Wild Queen doesn't die. But once you get it going, it's pretty strong. It has a lot of backup plans. Like, we might have took forever on that one battle, but we didn't lose. Even though it was life and death, and we got into a pretty dire situation at one point. But there's a lot of comeback mechanic. Wild Queen, if it survives, can solo the entire team. And then we have backup summon off of Arboreal. And if you truly had to, you can loop spam ssaszix HP to try to get your durability up to not die. So you have like 3 whole different ways to make a comeback then. But the most useful one probably being Wild Queen. Though you can make some pretty big comebacks with the elemental summon off of Arboreal Crystal. You can go from just Arboreal Crystal to an entire viable team. Which honestly, I should probably go try that. We should start a battle with Arboreal Crystal and see what we finish with by the end of the battle. Just for fun. Let's just see what would happen. We need to go do that. We need to find a PvP team that's not like ultra meta, but still like semi-meta. And then face it with just Arboreal Crystal. And see what we get. Hopefully we'll get half decent summons because that could be a really long battle otherwise. The one slight issue is getting ssaszix up. I feel like that's an issue with almost every ssaszix team though. Like when he's not at full mana, it's a bit of a weird situation. Because it's kind of sluggish until it is. Well, once it is, it just kind of keeps going. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting option. It's definitely very situational, though. Like, similar to Jar of Eyes, you wouldn't, like, spam it on every team you would ever use. But it's still very useful to bring out. And even something like Rope Dart, which is insanely good, is not something you would necessarily run on everything. Especially when you're trying to kill all enemies simultaneously. Because Rope Dart does the exact opposite of that. Or it kind of concentrates damage very, very specifically. And 7 more and we get an event key. This is such a leftover thing from ages ago. I'm actually surprised that's still in the game and they haven't reworked it. So they haven't done a PvP rework in like a year or two, which they said they were going to do. And it hasn't been reworked in like years. Very long time anyways. Anyways, just for fun, let me go do what I just said earlier. Is that team too meta? Problem is we could die on one doomed crossbow. But, I don't know, we gave it a shot. Let's go fight this. Let's see what happens. We're gonna fight this using only one thing. And that one thing is, the Arboreal crystal. Yeah, are there any troops that are meta here? Oh, Aberef's not in the, top? Oh, I have it to elemental filter, that's why. I was gonna say, Aberef should be the very first one. How's it not? But yeah, nothing's really too meta here. Alchemist and Alderfather would be the highest too. They're very situational. But yeah, we finally have a meta weapon within the first 8. I guess technically Anusceptor could be, but it's very dated. Anyways, let's go run our banner. I guess we just run into a normal blue-purple because we have no clue what we're actually going to get, so we can't really mine as something. Let's just go a little bit of blue-purple and see what happens. Run it with Titan for safety's sake. But let's go do this. Let's go try soloing team with this crystal. And nothing but the crystal. See what happens. Ha, cleanse immediately. Okay, we got Gloomleaf. We can make that work. Kind of. Not really. But we'll see what happens. You got Spooky Imp. Not looking good. I am very tempted to take that purple. Oh, we do a Gloomleaf down. And we got this thing. What did I even do? 40 true damage to the last enemy. 50% chance to do true damage to second last enemy. Then submerge myself. That's awful. Trip is awful. Worst comes to worst, we can solo it with Gloomleaf. Gosh, Gloomleaf, a trip I haven't used for ages. I wish they made it reflect better. Wish I had 100% score reflect. That'd be really interesting to see. I hope we eventually get a mythic that has 100% score reflect, or at least 75%, but hopefully 100. So that every skull that gets used against it gets full value out of. Do we have Cascade? Not really. Take that for now. And let's match. What a weird battle. But hey, it won. And that was actually our 3 trophy battle as well. Let's see if we can win against Zugoff. We're up against a timer. That's very doubtful. Okay, at least we got first turn Surge. And some free skull. Honestly, I should almost just keep taking skulls until we will kill him. Especially now that we got Enrage with the thing. Oh, we actually have a Titan set to Enrage right now. There we go, we got Zugoff killed before we could do anything. Gosh, we're winning just off of Explosion. Though any Mountain Crusher-like weapon could do that. Oh, we got Amarek as a summon. The new mythic. Actually, I believe that's the most recent mythic, isn't it? And Mirage Queen. Unfortunately, Mirage Queen doesn't immediately apply its 50%. Anything that starts, any traits that trigger at start of battle do not actually get to do their thing. Also, what does this do again? Create a mix of red and brown equal to the current red and brown gems on the board. Oh, that's not too good. It's normally going to miss. That's almost always going to miss. Oh, why did I devour you instead of the other one? I should have went for the other one. I'm not sure why, but I always keep thinking he has Impervious. I almost always think this has Impervious, and there's a reason for that. It's because whenever you run with potion effects, if you run it with like an Iron Gut team, it has Bless, and because you never really cast it and you're only using it for its final trait, it basically has Bless the entire time. So whenever I see like a stats effect to hit it and it does nothing, like Devour or some other mechanic, it's like, oh yeah, he just has Impervious. But no, it's because he has Bless from the event. He doesn't actually have Impervious. That always throws me off. Because normally when I use him, he has Bless. And Bless basically is an impervious, essentially. And I just kind of always confuse it because I'm just so used to him having that Bless mechanic whenever I do use it on a team. Also, how are we almost doing better with this as our only troop and nothing else? We've been taking 3 trophies this entire time. And it's been getting like flawless battles. Or as flawless as you can given circumstances. Okay, we got a little bit of a weirder situation here, mostly because the board is bad and he just denied my manas that I needed. Luckily we got it there. Let's see what we get. That would have been funny if we would have gotten Truffle for a Truffle Mirror. We got a pretty bad summon. Okay, this is actually going to be really weird now. Alright, let's hope we get lucky here. Otherwise, we're dead off a loop if we don't get really lucky right now. Skull Sky, go. That is not a Skull Sky. We're dead. We're gonna die to the Truffle. We don't even have a single green on our team yet. We keep exploding green. There's quite a few green elementals. Oh, we're finally gonna lose one. Mostly to Truffle Loop. Which is to be expected. It's only a matter of time. There we go. Anyways, let's stop messing around with that. I just wanted to see it for fun. But there we go. Okay, anyways, let's switch back to an actual team. Where's the Skull Spam team? We'll mess around with this again. And then figure out another team. Try Gorgotha, Crystal, Lightning Strike. With Lightning Strike. The Wild Queen and Leprechaun. Yeah, that could end up working. Full-on Wild Queen team with really, really high score reduction. If anyone else has any other suggestions, let me know. Come on, where's all those cleanse things? We have a billion of them set right now. Good, just don't hit Wild Queen. How are we still not cleansed? We have 3 10%. Oh no, Wild Queen, you got hit. No. Wild Queen, no, don't go down. We need you. No, Wild Queen, we need you. Gosh, look at that rope dart go. The Wild Queen can solo. Go, show them that you can solo battles, Wild Queen. You got this. I guess it's a little bit of a weird board. I should probably kill him. And now we go for green. Ooh, that's a big miss. I was hoping we'd have Wild Queen full mana even if we didn't extra turn. We didn't have any mana there. Wild Queen with that 3 HP survive. Winning off that 3 HP survive. What even was that battle? It came through though. Oh, I meant to go check that team. Yeah, the other one would like never lose a troop. Well, I guess you could still get rope darted all over the place like that. Rope dart would still bypass it. Like it did that battle. But otherwise, it'd be really tanky if you go Gorgotha. Well, Gorgotha with Wild Queen is pretty, it's pretty funny how much ridiculously high amounts of reduction it has. Because not only do you get to attack reduce, but we also have Entangle off the thing, but we also have the 75% reduction, so they like never get to touch you at all. Ever. Obviously with cast they can, but as far as spells, can't touch anything. This wasn't even the weapon. This was just all Wild Queen. I like how almost all these battles, like 80 to 90% of these battles are just, oh, just Wild Queen soloing the entire thing. Which is why I switched to the weapon earlier so we could see it kind of isolated a bit. But otherwise, almost all these teams are going to just be like Wild Queen carrying or Truffle carrying or Beatrix carrying. Like, well, you might cast this once and it's like, okay, you're good to go. You gave us your Green Storm. Thank you. You're done. But it's probably going to be most of its battles, realistically. That doesn't mean it's a bad option, obviously. Because a lot of those kind of weapons you don't like keep spamming over and over and over again. Some situations you can. And theoretically, this one is actually probably one of the most beneficial ones to keep spamming, other than Essence of Evil, simply because you keep getting positive stats effects. It's almost like a slow mirror of reflection, where you end up getting those good positive stats effects, except you get them slowly per cast to your elementals. All right, anyways, let's go build a team. Let's go do it with the Gorgotha build. Let's see. Gorgotha. Wild Queen. And what was the other one thing we needed? Leprechaun. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And we need changes to Explosion. It's kind of funny we've been running it with Enrage the whole time. Though some of the battles we were doing it with was pretty good with it. And lastly, we need a banner change. Blue-purple. Would that work? I kind of want something a little bit more green. Is there a +2 green +1 purple that has -1 red? Not quite, but that would also kind of work. Because we need at least +1 purple, but I also need a bunch of green. What minus is that banner? I need green purple, but +2 green +1 purple. It's minus blue. Never mind, we won't run that then. But we'll run it this way, I guess. See what happens. So this is extremely high. Oh wait, this actually is +2 green though. Because I forgot we have the Leprechaun +1. Which allows us to full mana 5 times Wild Queen. As well as for purple if it wasn't blocked, but it's currently blocked. And frozen. Let's see. Oh, I thought that was extra turn. Whoops. Oh, because I took it on brown. Whoops. I was just saying how we're frozen, and then I still go for the thing that is frozen. Good job. Oh, and we got extra turn green, but we didn't get it on Skull, so we missed our turn again. Truffle, stop it. End your turn. I think we might have lost the Truffle loop. Oh, gotta carry us. Nope, never mind. We're just gonna die to Truffle loop. Good old Truffle. Infinite loop. He just infinite looped into himself too using our Green Storm. What a troop. What a perfectly balanced troop. We'll take that for now. I should have taken that Skull. Whoops. And it should be match. Had extra turn Skull as well, but didn't really need it. Oh, and we should be able to do pretty good against this. The main thing that's going to clip us if we do is going to be the rope dart. Because as I was mentioning earlier, like we have all this front line score reduction, but if we got rope dart on like Wild Queen, that could be very devastating to this team. Alright, we should be good to go. Let me just get rid of some of these extra turns. I think we're in the clear. Oh yeah, I just realized a problem with this team too. We don't have a backup plan if we get entangled. Unless we keep spamming this until we get Bless. Which is... Oh, wait, never mind. We can't even do that because if it's on Hero, it doesn't affect itself. So even then, we wouldn't be able to. Oh, you're good. We got Cleanse now. That should be match now. There we go. Yes, the fact that it has Green Storm, it's how I was explaining it earlier. One interesting mechanic that it has is the whole difference that it has between what's it called? Between Jar of Eyes. Jar of Eyes explodes brown, but it creates a storm into its own color, which is blue. However, this weapon's kind of interesting in that it ends up doing it for the one that it explodes. So, similar to a Mountain Crusher, not fully like a Mountain Crusher because it doesn't also use the color, but it creates a storm of green and explodes green. So it actually creates the color that it explodes. And for that reason, that's actually I would say stronger than Jar of Eyes. Jar of Eyes, it's easier to get its mana back up on the weapon, but it doesn't create more or a lot more of what it's actually exploding. Whereas this weapon does, similar to Mountain Crusher. Mountain Crusher is the best of both worlds because it's both the mana of it and it gets to create it. However, this one gets to create more of the one that actually explodes, which overall I would say is better than the way that Jar of Eyes works. Of course, if you really needed Blue Storm in a kind of context like that, Jar of Eyes would still be useful. But more often, I would say that having the color to what you're exploding is better than to what you're actually accumulating. Because that makes it so you will get more mana from your explosion anyways, which will go right back into you anyways, so it kind of works out. Because even though you're technically not, creating a storm that will feed into your mana, you're getting the more amount of explosions, and that will, of course, get you what you need. So it ends up working out quite well. Because we have Green Storm, and then we get to explode the greens, and then everything near the greens will give us mana, which basically makes it so we almost net gain more mana than the storm that goes into its own color, while it also being more beneficial. Oh, why did I do that? I was trying to do that to like get full mana, and I completely ignored the purple too while doing so. Fail. Do we have Mirage Queen right now? I actually will cast it if it's extra turn. If not, then I think I was going to try Purple Surge actually. And then go for a nice big explosion. And a little bit short of getting rolling. Luckily that gets us up right there. I'm so tempted to just Mirage Queen that. I'm also tempted just to throw this onto blue. That or brown. You know what, we're going to try a brown and hopefully get lucky. Nope, should just went for the extra turn. Oh well. Let's go for our explosion. And Entangle helps keep them at bay a little bit. Though, not once that Truffle starts. I mean, not once that, Zugaf starts, though. Luckily he's dead. And Wild Queen does Wild Queen things. And that should be a wipe. Good job, Wild Queen. I feel like most of these teams are just showing off Wild Queen, to be honest. Wild Queen's just so broken. Love it. I was talking about it the other day, too, when someone was bringing up, like, balance updates. But, Pan's Veil ended up coming up because that was, like, one of the last Kingdom updates. I think actually it was the last time that they rebalanced the Kingdom. And, like, almost everything in that patch was completely pointless when they ended up doing, like, a little mini update to, like rebalance. Well, it wasn't an update, but they just out of nowhere kind of, or not out of nowhere. They were gonna do it for like over a year and then just never got around to it, and then finally did. But a Pan's Veil rework. Basically, the only relevant thing that was in the entire thing was Wild Queen getting buffed, and to this day, she's still like insane from that buff. Like it was pretty much completely irrelevant. But the only relevant thing was, oh yeah, Wild Queen is now like meta, and it hasn't really changed. She used to have a much lower gem spawn for both her mana and her skull. It used to be 16, now it's 22. The amount of consistency that added to her ability is absolutely insane, even though it's only a 6-number difference. But it turned her from being something that was ever so situational that you would almost never use to one of the best Guild War troops, or pretty much the best Guild War troop in the entire game, as well as something that is so strong that it can just carry solo win an entire battle if it gets lucky enough. Though it can backfire pretty hard. And you do have to be careful of that sometimes in Guild Wars. We have lost Guild War days, or at least a battle in a Guild War day due to her missing her ability. But as long as you don't miss, she's pretty auto-win. Like, as long as you don't do it on like a really, really bad board, but sometimes even on a good board, you can sometimes miss. But as long as you do it on like a half-decent board, she's normally going to be fine. Okay, we got a billion blues. I would assume there'd be an extra turn blue somewhere in here. Somehow there does not appear to be so. Not sure how that is the case, but we'll have to do something then. We'll take blue to brown, I guess, just to get side cracks up. Just get a green storm rolling so we can get everything else going, and then we should be good to go. Once we have that green storm in place, we just go through a wild queen, and oh, that's their wild queen miss. Yeah, it's really bad when it does. It can really backfire sometimes. Aside from that, it's pretty good. Like, they didn't make her ability flawless with how much gem spawn it has. Just a lot more consistent than what it used to be. And it should be match off a wild queen then. Oh, I guess it messes again. Gosh, I think this isn't Guild Wars. So even if it was, we'd still be absolutely winning right now. But let's Mirage Queen kill it. Oh, so this is not Guild War possible. It could be if we replace that wild queen, but obviously wild queen is almost this entire team right now. That looks like we're getting 1.9k PvP rating. Might as well while we're at it. Why not? Yeah, you could do it with Truffle. From what I was testing with Truffle earlier, it seems better just to do double Truffle though. But it does work with Truffle. And similarly would work with Beatrix. Oh, so there's no green on the board. That's problematic in the sense that can't get any explodes. It still can't get any explodes. It would still get the status effects if we cast it. So this is what would happen if we had nothing on the board. As you can see, we still got a status effect for everything. And it would still summon. But obviously it would explode nothing. But that's what it does when you have no green on the board. If anyone was wondering. But yeah, we still got the status effect and we still got the summon. Which of course is to be expected. The only thing that didn't happen is obviously no explosions because there was no green on the board to explode. But all the other effects do still occur. Just like with every other spell in the game. Can we get our last hit? We're like taking a billion turns just to get like one single hit in. There we go. Yeah, you can Truffle Infinite Loop the entirety of the event. We were running Truffle for most of it. Especially if you're only doing tier 3. Truffle is enough to run through the entirety of the event with just tier 3. I mean, with tier 3 with Truffle, I mean. So it's a pretty straightforward event. It's elemental, so you have like a billion options. Elemental is, it still stays the strongest type in the entire game right now. Which I find kind of odd that they would add a weapon that's so good for them. But overall, really enjoy this weapon. It's obviously very situational though, like most weapons are. In that you wouldn't use it in literally every battle, even though we are currently trying to use it in every battle just because we're messing around with it. But, I would definitely say it's better than Jar of Eyes, which was already an insanely good weapon. Obviously, compared to Essence of Evil, it's situational, and if you would go Essence of Evil or not instead. Mostly if you specifically need that disable, of course, which is the whole premise of Essence of Evil. In many instances, that is pretty good to have. But overall, nope, still pretty good. Better than Jar of Eyes in almost all situations, so there's still a few that it isn't. And it's much better that it has that green storm for it rather than the other blue one. Just because, well, for one, green is better anyways, as coloration-wise. But also because of the fact that it explodes that color. So you get to have the value from that explosion that it does. And it has a better summon, because elementals are obviously a pretty good summon to end up having, since they're already a really good type. There are some pretty bad elementals out there, but generally speaking, elementals are very strong. You are a lot more likely, well, maybe not more likely to get a better option than a bad option, but there's definitely a pretty wide table of things that are useful on it. I'm going brown. I'm not sure why I was clicking on the other thing. Like trying to cast it as if it was something else. There we go. Oh, yeah, did you miss invasion teams? Yeah, we went over a bit earlier. We ended up running Rowan Quick Heal for the earlier battles. basically running it with Firebomb instead because obviously we couldn't run Leprechaun. We then switched into Truffle Team, which was, actually showed on Monday. It's just pretty standard Truffle Team, literally just that team. First Roll Double, Truffle, and Mirage Queen. If you bought up to tier 3, you can run this literally the entire time for tier 3. If you bought higher, you're eventually going to need to switch into Skull Spam, which will be something like Ironbark, Hero with a mana accumulating weapon, followed by Wild Queen and then Mirage Queen. And that's what you end up with running. Which would look very similar to one of the teams we were just running, actually. Just not exactly. But yeah, it would actually look very similar to this team. Except you'd probably not run Cycrax. Let's see. And you'd have Ironbark instead in first slot. You might even replace out this for like a Mountain Crusher or something. Mountain Crusher still has the best mana accumulation of any weapon. That hasn't changed. Because that is the best of both worlds in that it has the storm for its color of what explodes, and it has the storm into itself. Unlike Jar of Eyes, which is one, and the Arboreal Crystal, which does the other. Mountain Crusher does both. Which is why Mountain Crusher will probably remain untouched for a very long time. Just because it'd be hard to make something stronger than it. Like, they make a lot of weapons similar to it. Like, for example, the weapon that literally just came out. Similar to Jar of Eyes, similar to this, similar to all the Mountain Crusher-like weapons. But, it's going to be probably never that we'll get one actually that gets better than, like, Mountain Crusher. As far as, like, sheer mana accumulation. Unless they ever nerf it. Obviously, some are situationally better, which is why they actually get used rather than Mountain Crusher. But, it just kind of depends on the situation. Like, if you need a big disable, you go Essence of Evil. If you need Summon, you probably go, instead of Jar of Eyes, you now go Arboreal Crystal. Because you have to keep in mind, one of the big mechanics of this thing, it actually has a lot of little mini mechanics. The main ones being Entangle, Greenstorm, and Summon. Those are probably its main 3 kind of gimmick mechanics that you would use compared to, like, Mountain Crusher or something else. If you specifically need those 3 mechanics, you would end up using it. Because as a better summon than Jar of Eyes, it has a Green Storm, which obviously with many green teams is insanely good to have on a weapon that you could pretty much refresh nearly for free turn. It's not guaranteed free turn, of course, but has a pretty good chance for free turn. And yeah, basically just have to utilize its benefits. And of course, Entangle. If I'm not mistaken, it's the only Jar of Eye like weapon with Entangle, not counting Essence of Evil. But not counting Essence of Evil, it is the only Mountain Crusher-like weapon with an Entangle. So I guess it's not the only. It's one of 2. But Essence of Evil and it are the only 2 that are Mountain Crusher-like that have Entangle attached to it. Which obviously if you're up against a Skull Spam team that doesn't have Rope Dart is pretty good. And even if it does have Rope Dart, as long as you can kill the Rope Dart, it's not going to matter. An Infernus one? Infernus won't get that quick of a speed. Why with Infernus? Because you don't necessarily get to use the Green Storm as much. Because you'll cancel it out occasionally with Red Storm. Leprechaun, Infernus, Sunspear. So what weapon was Sunspear? I'm not sure if it would work with Infernus. Like, it wouldn't be horrible with it. But at that point, I think you'd be better off with Essence of Evil. Because you're not necessarily going to need it for its summon, especially with first slot. Like, this is a weapon you're pretty much never going to run in first slot. Similar to Jar of Eyes. Jar of Eyes in this weapon is pretty much never going to be ran in first slot. Mainly because if you're using these 2 weapons, you're most likely using them, at least in part, because they have summon. And for that reason, you almost never want to put your summoner in first slot. There are situations that you would. But generally speaking, you wouldn't. That's what we want to see. Getting a Bless to get rid of every single bad stats effect off of the weapon. Or, from the weapon. great to see. That should be matched. We should be all the way in our setup. Just keep killing it down, and that should be it. One more. There we go. Boom. Easy as that. That's why we've been paying attention. We already hit way past 1.9k PvP. There we go. All the rewards. It's mostly glory keys as far as the actual like good value there they end up getting. Also, we got 50 gems today. We'll be getting that later tonight off the adventure board there. It was meant for Explore 12. Was it? I can try it in Explore 12. Yeah, I know. I generally don't do PvP these days. But if you're trying to test a team, I normally initially start it testing on PvP, unless it's specifically only ever going to be used in a different game mode. So which one? Was it this one then? I can give it a shot. Let's see. Go try it in Explore 12 right over here. I think it might be slow compared to Zugoff, though. I didn't realize this was Explore 12. But I guess it's an alternative for not having Zugoff. Once Wild Queen gets going, kind of just keep going through, though. Just need to kind of keep casting her over and over. And hope you get lucky on skulls every time. But yeah, it definitely would run pretty smoothly. Also, there's a lot less chances to mess up. Because since it's only a one single damage source, when you're doing it in PvP, it's like a little bit of liability. Like when we're up against that rope dart team. But we still end up winning. But we don't have to deal with stuff like that in Explore. So you can kind of just keep spamming her and not need to worry about it. And just start from the top and work your way down. And double tap them if you need to for the steal. Oh, he still got to move me. That's funny. Because of the Griffin. Yeah, it seems to work. I'm not sure if I'd bother using this compared to Zugoff, but if nothing else, it'd be nice and relaxing, since it has 1.5 billion ways to not die to skulls, which is the main way you would actually die and explore if you were somehow to ever die. Like just generally casting, unless they just get absurdly lucky with something, is not actually going to kill you in Explore. It's their skulls that's normally more of a threat. And this thing has 75% reduction. It has Entangle, and it has Wild Queen. So you got like 1 billion ways to not die to skulls. Here we're still about to die to skull and leprechaun just because it got moved. But most kingdoms don't have any movement options. Also, you just got instant kill as well. Gosh, that's a 20% chance. Hey, I was getting really lucky today. Imagine if it Wild Queen. Could you imagine if it 20%'d Wild Queen? That'd be pretty sad. Also, he just killed my higher attack value. But yeah, I don't think I personally use this compared to Zugoff, but it does work. It would work pretty well. This is a pretty bad example of it this battle, though, but it got really lucky. And it's also going to be really bad in movement kingdoms because you ideally want the same troop to be in first slot the entire time, so you can stack its attack with Wild Queen over and over again. Because if you get moved, that obviously is not the case. Can you please stop getting Eagle? we chose to use this, or we wanted to test this team. Yeah, we keep testing this team in like the place that has a movement option like every 5 seconds. It's almost as bad as Dust Devil. It's like a second turn Dust Devil, since it has 75% mana start, the movement. Oh, I did not mean to do that on you. Whoops. You have no attack. Well, that might not even matter because once it gets moved, it won't matter too much. Okay, now we want to start attack stealing. Yeah, I just feel like the battles are taking too long though, compared to Zugov or Iron Gut even. But it does work. Yeah, we got Enrage as well. Oh, there goes our Enrage. I know, Wild Queen. Come back. Actually, that was our damage source, wasn't it? Luckily, it loses like almost all of its stats when it does that. New Elemental, go. Use that summon. Oh yeah, you can get all the Guardian troops too. Forgot about that. They're all Elemental, aren't they? Wait, are the new ones Elemental as well? It's kind of funny. I think they might be. I didn't think about that. We might be able to get all the Guardians. Wait, were Finesse all of them Elemental, weren't they? I'm pretty sure they were Construct Elemental. No, they weren't. Never mind. They're Construct and whatever their typing was. Only the other 6 were Elemental. The first 6, like Justice, Courage, stuff like that. Loyalty. I forgot. The other ones were Construct and whatever their thing was. It's the first batch were Construct Elemental. Courage, Loyalty, Sacrifice, all those. Justice. Humility. Whatever the other one was. Honor. But those 6 were Elemental Construct. The other ones were Construct into whatever their type thing was. Anyways. Let's go see how this does against Truffle again. But yeah, overall, nice weapon. Better than Jar of Eyes. Definitely not something you'd use every single battle. Even though we are right now, just for testing's sake. Essence of Evil still beats it out in many instances. Mountain Crusher obviously still beats it out in many instances as it does every other Mountain Crusher-like weapon. If anything, all the weapons are based on it. Or, you know, that are similar to it. And, yeah, it's you basically just bring it out if you need one of its 3 main components. Entangle with an explosion. Greenstorm with an explosion. And, wasn't there a third? Oh, and Elemental Summon with an explosion. If you need one of those 3 mechanics, you would use this weapon. Otherwise, there's probably better options like Essence of Evil or Mountain Crusher. Or like a full AoE weapon with like Doom Skulls that can get pretty good board clear as well if you get alignment. This weapon, while it doesn't have to be, also benefits a lot more from being in an elemental-like team. Which it definitely doesn't have to be used that way. But of course, because the random stats effect mechanic, it does gain some additional benefits. And unlike many teams, you don't have to go too far out of your way to go full elemental. Because full elemental teams are already good. Or at least almost full elemental. Like right now we're pretty much using full elemental. Obviously hero class can't be. But everything on our team is elemental. Oh yeah, I'm still using the cleanse medals right now, aren't I? Instead of magic. I forgot about that. I never actually switched them, did I? I'm still on cleanse from earlier because we needed it and it's like, oh, let's just keep going cleanse. Cleanse is still pretty good to have around though. Pretty good utility thing to have up. But yeah, I definitely want to mess around with this a little bit more tonight. We end up streaming. Let's see. What do we even grab here? I'll take that for now. See if we can get a nice big green down. Grab our other green. Get our Cycrax into that. Get a good Wild Queen going in there. Oh, yeah, I'll take that over. See if we can get a good Mirage Queen follow-up. Explode it all again and be good to go. I just realized we have Damon Gnome there. People actually using it on defense is pretty funny. Fire bombs, let's go for it now. Actually, no, that's a fake firebomb team. Fine, we'll take the real team right in the middle. Wanderer, Plague Lord with Mountain Crusher, Queen Bee, and Grey King for the Possessed King. Wait, what was that for? Oh, for Explore 12. Mountain Crusher, Apothecary, Iron. Yeah, Iron Gut. Iron Gut's the best alternative in many situations for when you don't have Zugoff. And there's a couple kingdoms that don't have any immune to the Devourer that you can end up doing it on. It is a bit slower, but it still gets it done. Yeah, but it's way cheaper than having Zugoff. It still does similar. Only problem is Iron Gut can only ever kill one at a time. It's not too big a deal because you can extra turn his mana, so he actually at least has consistent extra turning, whereas Zugoff doesn't even have that. So you can kind of mana loop into his thing. But yeah, if you do use a curse option, you can use it wherever. We're actually getting a new curse option soon too, which he might be used with. Iron Gut might become a lot more viable once everyone gets Vashtagon. I mean, not Vashtagon, it gets Karandera. Karandera is coming at the end of campaign. And of course, anyone who has Pass will be getting it through there. However, you'll be able to get it in Soulforge soon after. But Karandera has a 50% chance to curse all enemies on extra turn. And that's probably going to be very beneficial for a Iron Gut going into the future. Because not only does it have a Skull Spam to synergize with him to help with that burst to kind of make up for not having Zugoff, but it also has the curse so that Iron Gut can kill whatever it wants. Other than that one indestructible troop, but that's not going to die to anything instant kill wise. But ends up working out really well. I haven't Zugoff kills through that thing though. But it'd be interesting to see how it pans out as we get around to it. Karandera has a lot of potential to be decent. How meta will be, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be really situational. Like something that you only ever put in if you really need its utility option. Plus, I think we just lost. Or at least lost to a point where I think we should just retreat. Just because this battle is going to be way too annoying at this point. Oh no, I guess we could win it out. Oh, I should have taken that purple. Whoops. That could have been our cast too. If I make a mistake like that, we're definitely going to lose. Let's see, I'll take that over, take that over, take that over, take that over, take that over. Wild Queen, go, kill it, go. You got this, Wild Queen. Solo this battle, Wild Queen, you got this. Yep, you got it. You got to solo it. Oh no, we're probably going to lose now, actually. He's about to Zugoff. Unless we can get full mana like right now or get infinite Skull Distracts. How on earth are we not dead yet? Oh, on earth, we're not dead yet. Problem, I can't take mana here. I'll try for a big cascade of something. Didn't get anything. Oh no, we gave him extra turn for it. No! So close. Yeah, I should have just retreated there. It was pretty obviously over at that point. Should have taken that one extra turn there. Not paying attention. I'm kind of tired right now. I almost feel like taking a nap, to be honest. Didn't get as much sleep last night. I'm not sure why. Thursday to Friday. always my worst sleeping day of the week. I never understand why. I can never sleep good on Thursday nights. Let's see. Throw that over. I think it's still like paranoia from school or something. Because of all like Friday testing and everything. Yeah, I'm not sure how it is in other countries, but Friday's always been like really big testing day normally. Like you have almost everything piled on one single day, crammed all the way at the end. So you spend like your Thursday like studying for it all the entire time. And even though I haven't been in school for years upon years, my brain still kind of like thinks like that. Yeah, Ketra's still really good to do. Ketra's to Yasmin's Pride if you have, or alternatively Ketra's to her Scale Shield. It's still pretty decent. Though Ketra's Yasmin's Pride is probably one of the strongest options he has. The problem is Yasmin's Pride is the old event weapon, so if you don't currently have it, you won't be able to get it for quite a few months. I think we had it semi-recently too, so it could be another 4 or 5 months before we see it again. So we still got a lot of time before it comes back around. I was wondering what trip that was. It looks so weird when it's reflected from the other side because I don't normally see it like that. It's very rarely used. Let's see. It's one of the empowers that just isn't as good. There's quite a few empowers in the game, but there's always like that category of like those empowers that almost never get used. It's because their alignment doesn't synergize with as many things. Or they don't have as good of an effect. Or pretty much no effect. I think the effect is a web. Yeah, webs and poison's the weakest. Which very rarely does much. Speak about things that don't do much. Oh no! That's problematic. That is very much problematic. Let's see. Oh, we're probably gonna lose this. Oh yeah, double take. Hello, Untangle. What's this up for Forest Troll and Truffle Team? Okay, we're gonna lose. We'll play it out still, I guess. But you can normally do Turtle. Turtle has a lot of green and kind of works like it. It's not exactly the same. But the problem is they're both the same rarity, so if you don't have one, you probably don't have the other. But Cannon Turtle is the closest equivalent. I don't think Cannon Turtle counts as an elemental, though, if you're using it in that sense. But Cannon Turtle, I believe, is the closest equivalent to Forest Troll. As far as if you're looking for, you know, something that can create a bunch of green while still counting as brown-blue. Because that's exactly what it is. It's a brown-blue that creates a bunch of green. It doesn't count as elemental, though. I mean, if you had the choice, you would always use Forest Troll instead. But it would still work. I just realized we're up against a triple Fair Straw team with Mountain Crusher. Interesting to see. You can accumulate souls that way if you want to. Though obviously that requires a really high amount of Fair Straws. I also don't feel like it's as effective as other soul farming teams. It's a bit slow over right just because of the inconsistency. Because trying to kill with just Fair Straw is very, very slow. He's not a quick kill option. The quickest he can do is 1 kill at a time, which is also pretty slow. Even if you're doing like a low level explore, it's still not worth it overall. I should have went for burst right there. Still not too late to go for burst. No, actually, yes it is. We don't have alignment now. We should after this, though. And now we do. Okay, let's get a Wild Queen and then we go for burst. Should have taken the one that had 3 attack. I don't think it matters much, though. I'll take that, I'll take that. Good, we got cleanse there. Just gonna destroy everything. Steals last 3 attack. All your attack belong to us. Yeah, it should pretty much be wipe at this point. How do we not have any Mirage Queen alignment? Yes, we do. We have it right over there. There we go. And we just do one more and let's match. How about an Elemental sub for Farce Troll? Elemental sub for Farce Troll. I don't think there is. There is one, but it's even rarer. It's Sycorax. Sycorax is Farce Troll, but way rarer. And more situational because you can't use this in like first slot. That'd be way too clunky. But I don't think there is a equivalent underneath Elemental specifically. That's actually lower rarity. KrissTigger theoretically, but it creates brown, not green. KrissTigger is the cheapest thing that is ever so somewhat kind of like Farce Troll, but isn't. But it creates brown, not green. But depending on your team, brown might still be viable. As far as something that creates green underneath Elemental, Farce Troll is the cheapest option. Sycorax is the most expensive. And the only other option I believe that's actually viable. Might be a few others here and there that do like something somewhat green related. But they're not that good. I think Dryad's just Fey. It doesn't count as Elemental. Yeah, there's not really a viable option that isn't Farce Troll. Like it's Farce Troll or Sycorax or Wild Queen, obviously, with her green. But every other green creator's not that great underneath, specifically Elemental. Loyalty? Oh yeah, I guess you could go Loyalty. Almost forgot about her. Because I forgot, she can create green and then whatever you target. So that does include green, obviously. But theoretically, any of the Guardians in that regard, since they all can target green. But yes, Loyalty or any of the Guardians, theoretically. It doesn't even have to be Loyalty because they can all target into green in order to create green. But yes, Loyalty, Justice, Courage, Honor, stuff like that, theoretically can all be ran as something that creates green. They're all common rarity too. Something that you'd very easily get off of those chests. They are very situational though, especially in a pure Elemental team. As far as a pure Elemental team, I feel like Humility would work out the best. Just because he has a lot of magic gain. And then you could just target him into yellow-blue. Yellow feeding into himself. I mean, yellow-blue. I mean yellow-green. Yellow feeding into himself and green obviously going into everything else. Oh yeah, I actually forgot about Corrupt Troll. Doesn't he double green-purple? Or, you know, he creates however many there are on the board of green-purple. So that could work. Though the purple can overwrite the greens and the greens can overwrite the purple. I'm not sure if they're ever going to code it to make that not the case. That'd be a gigantic buff to those kind of troops if they ever did. But as it currently stands, that can be really annoying sometimes. There are still some weapons that are kind of viable for it, though. Like all the Divine Protector-like weapons. You know, the ones that are based on the type that create 2 different gems. Those can actually be pretty decent. Also, can we have a turn sometime today? He wants to loop forever for the Goblin team. He never wants to stop. Hey, you're stealthy. Getting in our way. I keep targeting every single time. I should take in Skull there. That was a weird battle, but it came through. Oh, Dryad is both. I thought it was just Fae. But yeah, that could technically work. Yeah, you could end up doing it as a barrier too, so you can kind of use it as like a temporary protection. I almost showed a team with Loyalty as well, but I ended up replacing it out with something else for the video for the low team. I forget exactly what the replacement was, but I was originally actually going to show the Monday video with Dryad for the low team instead of whatever I end up using. There's a reason behind why I didn't, though. Let's see. We'll take that. Because Dryad's pretty good for early game. It falls off pretty quick. But it has barrier. Has a little bit of heal. Has a very, very small life gain. It doesn't actually increase based on anything. But it gets to create some green, which is the main benefit. And a pretty decent amount for how low rarity it is. It is gem spawn though, but still works out. Gosh, Gorgoltha, you're going to be all this tankiness and then you're going to resummon. What are you doing? If anyone else has any other questions, do let me know. Otherwise, I'm probably going to be wrapping up soon. Then go grab lunch. As far as if we're going to do another stream, I'm not sure. I might actually just take a nap and rest up until tonight. We'll see. If I feel up to it, I might stream the other game a little bit. Otherwise, I might just take a nap, eat dinner, do a few other things, and then just do the stream tonight. And tonight we will be basically continuing what we're doing right now. Just messing more with this weapon. Doing some team builds, doing some experimentation. Kind of see what we can get to work. And go from there. Can you stop getting instant kills and stuff? That'd be great, thank you. Let's see, we'll take that. Oh wait, why did I give him an extra turn there? Doesn't really matter too much. He's entangled after all, but still. Be better if we didn't give him that. We kind of lost the weapon, so we can't even resummon there. Like, normally we'd be able to just go like, oh, we can just resummon an elemental there. Kind of can't when he kills the weapon itself. Also, he's running Essence of Evil, which is kind of funny. Essence of Evil, in many situations, I do feel like is going to be better than this weapon. Which is something we kind of already knew. But it's obviously more situational for when you're... when you specifically need the summon, when you specifically need that green storm, you specifically need that little bit more mana accumulation. But Essence of Evil is still insanely good. That hasn't really changed with this weapon coming out. It's really strong in that it basically completely destroys a single troop in one single cast. Like, you cast it and boom, they're disabled. They just can't do anything. So they're either disabled for such a long duration that it's like they don't even exist, or they quite literally don't exist because they just get clipped by Death Mark or just die really quickly to other effects. Oh, we actually lost that fell. Revenge Battle. Revenge Battles still have that weird mechanic where they give more gold as well. They give way more than a normal battle. Also, I forgot. Oops. We're being blocked on Mirage Queen. What are you doing, Mirage Queen, blocking us like that? Well, we can still grab purple. Luckily, he surges, so we can get things rolling. We might lose first slot before we can. We will. We gotta get really lucky on this cascade. Luckily, Green Storm carried us. Hey, speaking of Dryad. Hello, Dryad. Let's see. We were just mentioning you like 5-10 minutes ago. Let's see. We'll take that over. Grab our green. That should be able to land. We then go for a Wild Queen again. Grab a I'm not sure how I want to do this. I honestly just want to take a skull out of safety's sake. Play it super safe and then just Wild Queen him. Look at that Dryad carry us. We didn't even cast it a single time. Didn't really need to. Got any War Gear teams? No, they're all horrible. Don't bother making a War Gear team. But if you want to just do it for interestingly, or interesting team, multiple Wolf Garrix kind of can work, but obviously that requires a really useless mythic to have multiple copies of. Alternatively, is there an alternative? War Gears are just really bad, unfortunately. Biggest issue that they have is they don't have a really good proper mana accumulator, and their mythic is horrible. And in that combination, they just kind of flop. They also have no hero class that's War Gear. So that one kind of thing that you can kind of use to connect things together, you can't even do properly because it doesn't exist. Because some types can do that. Like some types aren't the greatest, but hero can kind of piece them together enough that they function. But there's not even a Wargear hero class. Yeah, Wargear is among one of the weakest types in the entire game currently. I wouldn't say it's the absolute weakest, but it's pretty close. Like if we were to use like a pure type team of just all of the same type. See you, Rezo. We'll catch you later. I'm probably going to be grabbing a bite to eat as well in a few minutes. I didn't eat breakfast yet, so kind of hungry. Obviously, didn't eat lunch because we've been streaming through lunch. Let's see. Yeah, the Wargear Guardian, I believe, was actually one of the stronger ones. As far as, you know, as far as Wargears that exist. Not as far as troops in the game, but just, you know, as far as Wargears. It's actually one of the strongest Wargears in the game. Most of the ones that got one of those Guardians ones were pretty bad typings to begin with. I think the most beneficial one was actually the Strix. Oh gosh, he got that mana drain. Luckily we still could do that. But out of all of them, I would say the Strix probably got the biggest benefit from it overall. But yeah, they ended up giving those Guardians to some of the worst types in the game to kind of make them a little bit better. Which is why Wargear got one. They were so bad that they needed to add like a pity troop to make them a little bit better. But even that doesn't piece them together enough, because the biggest issue with pure Wargear right now is lack of mana accumulation. Especially since you can't use hero in a pure Wargear. If you want it to be truly pure. Similar to how you can't use hero in a pure elemental. However, it doesn't matter because it's a pure elemental is still absurdly strong. Like with double truffle into Forest Troll Mirage Queen. Like, doesn't use any hero and it's you don't even notice. Because it's so strong to begin with. Also, we haven't gotten any mythic summon yet off of the thing. Actually, we haven't really gotten any insanely good summon off it yet. Keep getting rather useless ones. So Elemental does have a really wide drop table. The only slightly bad thing about it is you have absolutely no clue what you're going to get for summon. It's because it has a very, very wide drop table. With Jar of Eyes, you have a 66% chance you get something skull-oriented. Or sorry, not 66, 50%. We have 50% chance you'll actually get something that's actually really good with skulls. So you kind of know about what you're going to be getting. Elementals, it could be like absolutely anything. It's because of how wide the drop table is for what an elemental can be. When you get it from there. This is going to be a really weird battle. We're basically, I didn't even realize that till just now. We're playing Jar of Eyes versus... we're playing Arboreal versus Jar of Eyes. What a weird battle. What a super weird battle. That is kind of funny. I was talking about that and didn't actually realize it's the battle we're playing out right now. Arboreal Crystal versus Jar of Eyes. Watch a Jar of Eyes somehow still win. It would be somewhat sad saying that this thing's actually better than Jar of Eyes. Well, find out. At this point, it pretty much is this weapon versus that weapon. Except for the fact that he's Drunken Sailor, which is not from that weapon. But our whole team is from this thing. So we're theoretically right now a weapon versus weapon battle. Where pretty much our whole team is what we summoned. Not counting his Drunk Sailor. Let's see. I can't take that for extra turn. We still can't take that for extra turn. I can't even drop that to double skull if I wanted to, unfortunately. I actually want to go for explosion and see if we can get something good off it. Doesn't seem like it. Especially hopefully be able to get a skull will follow up. Nope, not quite. Okay, green to red. Still can't do anything, which is quite unfortunate. This thing creates a mix of blue and brown, which honestly we could probably land it on blue. Fortunately didn't get it. I hate that it creates a mixture of it, even when there's more of one color. Like you think it would do equivalent 1-to-1 of the two things. Like if there's 15 blue and 5 brown, you think it would do 15 blue and 5 brown, but that's not how it works. It does a mixture of both, even if it's even, or even if it's uneven. So Pokemon Hero, start getting that killed. Definitely need that out of the way. Go for another one of these, and hopefully get the mana we need to go do it again. See where that brings us. What a weird battle. But at least we finally got to have the gosh, I keep forgetting this thing's name. The Arboreal versus Jar of Eyes battle. I was going to set one of these up later. But we don't even need to now. We get it now. Don't even need to go out of our way to set it up. Game did it for us. Can we get any good elemental? There are so many. How have we not gotten a single good elemental this entire battle? And as far as Jar of Eyes, actually every summon is good. Except for the summoner. Which is kind of funny. The only thing that you can summon from that is the summoner. That would be bad. Everything else would pretty much be really good. There we go. We cast kill Jar of Eyes. We have one. Though we were very close to dying too. If we just cast that, I think we die actually. We're pretty close to it. 7 HP. Dead. That's funny. We just do a reverse clear. He clears us. Or we clear him. He clears us. What even is this battle? On the same following turn. Or, you know, within the same turn cycle. We both killed each other's weapon. Oh no, he's gonna get skull there. He didn't go for it though. Interesting. How do we go about this? We'll take a skull down here. He's then going to get another kill though. Similar to how Drizzy got a kill. Or is he going to keep reverse wiping each other? Every single same turn cycle, we keep killing each other. Like he gets a kill, I get a kill. I didn't see that with a cascade. Whoops. This is a weird battle, but I'm pretty sure we win. But who knows at this point? He has Death Mark, so he can just feel like winning at any second. He's like, oh, let's just get pure luck. Oh, good. We just got cleansed. Never mind. We won. It's still not too late. He can still double Death Mark, wipe us out of nowhere. It's not over till he's dead. We'll take the other skull. Grab our yellow. What else we need? We'll take the brown, and then we just kill him out and be good to go. There we go. What a weird battle. I'll take it though. We got our Jar of Eyes versus the Crystal. But yeah, I would say it's almost consistently always better than Jar of Eyes. Unless you really need Blue Storm. I feel like this is almost always going to be used instead. Or if for whatever reason you really needed a blue-green weapon. But otherwise, you'd probably always go to Crystal instead. Just because you'd probably have at least like one elemental on your team just because of how common they are on various teams. But it's definitely not better than Essence of Evil in many situations because you will end up needing the big disable rather than the little bit of benefits this gets. Because it's pretty situational. It's 3 main benefits. Green Storm, Entangle, and Elemental Summon. Elemental Summon, super inconsistent, though you can get super lucky and just get like an absurdly good summon off it. Green Storm, pretty obvious that what you use that for. It's just perpetual green for like truffle and stuff like that. And then its other mechanic is Entangle, which obviously is pretty good for not dying. Though Essence of Evil can also do Entangle, so that's technically not a benefit if you compare it to Essence of Evil. Since they both technically have an Entangle. You just have to target on first slot, whereas this one always does it on first slot regardless. But it's still good nonetheless. But anyways, guys, gonna grab Tribute. Then we're gonna head off for a little bit. We will be back with Gems of War later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is in 7.5 hours from now. We might stream Spiritfarer a little bit, but I'm not sure if I will be between the 2 streams. But if we do a little notification thing, you will be up for, and we'll do that for a little bit. But yeah, Invasion's pretty easy because Elemental, Weapon, pretty good. Pretty much as good as I thought it would be. Would I still consider it top 10? I probably would. It's definitely the way lower end of top 10, that's for sure, which we already kind of knew would be towards the lower end of it. But I don't know, it's pretty much everything that I thought it would end up being. The Elemental Summon's pretty inconsistent, though. I was expecting Summon to be a little bit better, but it just has such a gigantic drop table that it's just so wide. Like, you never know where you're going to get from it. And you could pull, like, a random good legend or mythic elemental, but then there's, like, a lot of junk. But sometimes we got a Drowned Sailor, which was pretty useful in that one instance. Like, there's a lot of utility troops. But I don't know, it's just a really wide range. You don't know if you're going to get a good mana generator. You don't know if you're going to get a damage source. Obviously, you're kind of using it as a last resort kind of thing, too. So the fact that it doesn't have a consistency is a little bit of a downside to it. Because at least Jar of Eyes in that regard, like you kind of know what you're about to get. For the most part, you're likely going to get either something useless or something that can kind of orient itself towards skulls, which is pretty good, obviously, in first slot. But Elemental is just, you never know what you're going to get. It's a little grab bag of whatever. But I don't know, still pretty good overall. Obviously, pretty good with Wild Queen, good with Truffle, good with Beatrix. Any kind of like Elemental team that's centered around green are the main things that you would end up using that weapon for. And given how meta that currently is, that's pretty good. And keep in mind, Mirage Queen too. Even if you're just running an Elemental team that isn't that oriented towards green, you still are, because if you're using Mirage Queen, you need those greens to do Doom Skulls. So you have this Green Storm, you do convert to Doom Skulls off your Mirage Queen, and boom. Not only do you have half mana start, but you still got to use the Green Storm for damage output for Skull Spam rather than anything else. Obviously, you'd ideally want to use that with Wild Queen and Mirage Queen, but I don't know, if you're on color restrictions, you can still kind of make it work, because like blue restriction, boom, you can just use that with Mirage Queen. Like a lot of these, like if you're using this, I feel like blue's could be pretty good, because most people won't like hard counter blue if it's like, let's say like a Guild War day, and you can end up building pure blue without really going out of your way, just because of like things like Truffle and such, so and Farce Troll, things like that. So you wouldn't really have to go out of your way to build it into a pure blue. Of course, there's already pretty good pure blue teams like Double Truffle. I'd still say is better than actually using this weapon, but who knows, maybe for defend, if you don't have I normally mention this team for like a defend. However, you could end up revamping it and making it like into a pure blue. Where's the one team I was talking about? I'm trying to refer to right now. We'll be using it for Guild War next week or in defend anyways. Where'd it go? I forget what color I used it on. Where is it? There it is. So this team, if you don't have Elemental Bow, you can actually use that new weapon into this team. So I use Farce Troll, Mirage Queen, King Gob Truffle, and Elemental Bow because you're not allowed to use double of the same. However, you can actually build it into the new weapon that came out today. So if you don't have Elemental Bow, you can replace it with the new weapon. So if any of you have been looking to like build this team for defend, you can now. Not with Elemental Bow, but with the new weapon that came out today that's available this weekend. But yeah, highly advised to go get that weapon. It's available for 250 gems in Invasions, which is the way I would advise getting it. However, if you don't want to spend those gems on it or grind Treasure Hunt to go get those gems or anything else to go get gems, the other alternative is to go craft in Soulforge. Though I do advise getting it through the Invasion event so you can go and help out your guild. But yeah, Guild Wars is next week. So yeah, you'd be able to build it into this team. And instead of Elemental Bow, we could do it with the thing. Which I might even test it myself and just kind of see what win rate we get. I forget if we have Paragon. I don't think we do. But we'll get some pretty good data on if we do our Paragon next time around. I think we lost like once or twice, so we might not have it. I forget. But we'll find out. But anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Best of luck with the Invasion event and with the new weapon. And yeah, prepare for that Guild Wars because that's next week. And we'll be having that going on all next week. And we'll be going from there. Anyways, guys, catch you guys soon. Thank you so much for stopping by. Greatly appreciate it as always. And I'll see you guys around. Stay safe out there. Don't do anything reckless. And I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye, everyone.